ball on 20. It's just so difficult to dodge all of it.
Hello everybody and welcome back here on the Heroes Lounge. My name is Samu. I am now taking over the spot as host from Luca, and for now we do have the Division 4 Grand Finals coming up after Not Songs Esports winning Division 5. And for this we're gonna see Tysk Effektivitet, which is just Dansk for German efficiency, going up against AFK for Cocoa. And I'm not alone, of course. I'm joined by Kestrel and Skizo. Welcome.
Oh, I'm here.
Hi, thank you very much. It's nice to be here too.
And with that, we're gonna already have a quick look over the map draft, as we do have Battlefield of Eternity and Infernal Shrines being banned out by Tysk Effektivitet. So no Diablo maps coming out from them, and AFK for Cocoa banning out Dragonshire and Sky Temple. And we're gonna start where Division 5 ended. We're gonna start with Sky Foundry for map number 1 of this best of 5 series.
30-minute map incoming, let's go!
I can't wait. I mentioned this to the players. I actually cast a 42-minute match of Volskaya Foundry earlier in the season, so let's hope it doesn't go that long because we all have beds to go to tonight. But it usually goes quite long, but it's usually quite a fun one as well.
I'm waiting for the fireworks. Can't wait.
I mean, I have one time casted a 10-minute game of Volskaya because teams were like, we're gonna push top, you guys gonna push bottom. And then it ended pretty quickly.
Well, the teams are just deciding not to play the map. Well, strange things happens. Anyway, let's dive in on to the first pick and bans, because we have who's that again? I'm prepared, I promise.
We've got Tysk with first pick. AFK for Cocoa having the second pick, and now with the recent changes, with the last patch to Rega and Johanna especially, but also to a few other buffs and nerfs coming in with that, we're gonna have Rega and Johanna at a pretty decent spot, I would say, and therefore it's gonna be interesting to see if the team still decide to go with those bans, or if they rather look into some target bans against the opponent's team.
We do have one of those target bans because the Hanzo has been eliminated.
I've seen this a few times actually. Poppin Fresh plays a very mean Hanzo, and I was expecting that to get banned. He has a good win rate with it and a lot of bans in the regular season too.
Yes, indeed.
Also remember AFK for Cocoa being like one of the first teams to say like, you know what, we're gonna pick Hanzo, we're gonna pick Dragon Strike, and we're gonna use Maze Ice Wall to force you to stand inside of it. And it was a very successful combo of them, which they're already using for quite a few seasons by now. And now they come in with the Barak ban from AFK for Cocoa.
Well, then we also have in the Division 6 finals like 3 Leoric Dragon Strike combos used very effectively, I might add.
If you have the setup for it, such as the Ice Wall or the Entomb, it does work out so nicely, but because of the long cast time that it has, you can't always aim it accurately. That's why you have those setup tools for it, and they can work out very well. It does do a lot of damage, especially in the center as well.
Yeah, and so far we've not seen any of those meta bans that you were talking about earlier. No Johanna, no Rhaegar. Instead we're going for Anubrak, which is also a very strong tank and a 100% win rate for AFK for Coco. So not too surprising to see that one go. And on the other side we have a Junkrat ban.
We do still going to see the Johanna being banned, even though she's now, especially as a main tank, gotten a little bit weaker. She can still be used as an offlaner. With the W talent on level 4, she is very, very good wave clear.
And then Anduin coming in. I think Anduin has really risen in healer priority. There is still Stukov open, which surprises me, but I think still the top 3, Anduin, Stukov, Rhaegar, you're going to see those picked and banned quite a lot. So it's also interesting that Rhaegar was not banned either, so what do you think is going to happen here?
I'm thinking that Stukov will be... Well, no, that's really cheating. But Anduin has been picked as the most picked healer by both teams, so I think Tysk Effektivitet is very happy to be able to snag that one up. And, well, AFK for Coco just picking the their second most picked healer in the Stukov. Together with that, Sylvanas. So a hero with a bow for pop-in.
On the side of Tysk, we now see a very heavy frontline being picked up by Blaze and ETC. So Luca now gone, but finally his Blaze also comes in on the offlane this time, not on the main tank as we just saw. And ETC as well as a very strong main tank, especially for peeling. So it's gonna be very interesting to see, as both are not the best light bomb targets, but a Blaze can definitely make it work as well if he gets a light bomb when he charges in.
Yeah, for sure. It's very beefy, if you'll forgive the pun. But you can get some good light bomb value there if you communicate it properly. It's not as easy as like a Johanna Falling Sword light bomb combo, but with Power Slide and indeed with Jet Propulsion, you can pop it on there with that communication to get those big combos off.
Yep, I agree. Cassia, a ban for AFK for Coco. Let me get my stats real quick. Does pop up with a 70% win rate over 10 picks for Tysk. Another target ban. And Tysk is, of course, very strong in that sieging using that Odin. And at the top of the pick list for AFK for Coco.
Yeah, very good ban, I think, Tychus, because I know AFK for Coco play that quite a lot as well. As far as I know, 10 games, very high win. I think it was 80% win rate with Tychus as well.
80% win rate.
Yeah, so it's always a good ban, especially versus healthy tanks like Blaze.
Also, looking at the map, we have the Protector's Morning, who can easily get raced on by Tychus and his minigun. But for now, AFK for Coco will pick up their offlane and the second DPS. So tank for a last pick, and for now we're going to see Sonya and Falstad being picked up. So we've got Sleep, Wailing Arrow, already some really good CC tools picked up on their side.
I mean, we're not sure on the Leap yet, and they're saving their tank slot to be able to adjust a bit to see like a Thrall, extra heavy front line like we said earlier.
We saw this in the Division 5 Grand Final earlier, I think, did we not? A 4-man Thrall in the mix.
Yep.
Yes, we did, but it was with Ragnaros, and Ragnaros is more of a damage offlaner as well, same as Thrall, so also a little bit okay-ish in terms of health, but now we've the Blaze and DTC very, very healthy, especially the Chromie behind is one of those DPS which can manage to dish out tons of damage if she gets the space.
And the Garrosh final pick, so trying to prevent that ETC from sliding in as freely as he could versus other tanks, because if he ever gets alone with that Garrosh, he will be thrown around and probably out of position.
Exactly. If you're going to go in as ETC here, you either need to walk yourself in there, or you need to make sure the Garrosh is occupied when you do power slide in. So effectively, if you're taking, say, Mosh Pit, you have to make sure that Garrosh is in that Mosh Pit, or you're going to get absolutely destroyed as ETC. Undoing, though, is the safeguard to pull you out if you do mess it up, so they have a layer of survivability, shall we say. But obviously, it's Volskaya Foundry, it's very open, so hitting those mosh pits can be quite difficult because there's not many choke points.
Also keep in mind, when ETC presses his ultimate, no matter if mosh pit or stage, if he gets 60 armor, which has been changed recently, but you know, that makes him pretty beefy also in those moments when he presses the mosh pit.
That is very true. You can even use this when you're clutch taking down a fort or keep, for instance. If you have it focusing you, then you can give yourself those 2 seconds of 60 hours to reduce that keep damage. I've even used this myself to take it down, and it works out quite nicely.
And as we are loading into the game, take it away, Castro and Skizo, for game number 1 of this best of 5 series.
We for sure will. First game of this series between Tysk Effektivitet and AFK for Coco. On the left side, in the blue, it is Tysk Effektivitet with GA Kaisuya on the Thrall, Brutus playing Chromie, Vestergaard on Anduin, GE Classics on ETC, and Swatsi on the Blaze.
Yes, and on the right-hand side, in red, it is AFK for Coco, with Sylvanas being played by Poppin Fresh, Sonya being played by Proximo, Falstad being played by Linux, Yemek is on Garrosh Hellscream, and Beanfish is playing Admiral Alexei Stukov.
Red Lightning on Thrall, I want to call out right away.
Yeah, that is a good Crash Lightning move, and to be honest, Volskaya, one of the maps that you can get away with this on because it's so open. You can get stacks of those where there's no minions around, so you think you can stack this quite quickly, or at least I hope you can.
And if you can't stack it all too quickly, the map tends to last a bit longer, so you'll get some value out of it in the late game. Other talents to mention are the frequent flyer on Falstad, so auto attack build, no hammer, no boomerang, hammerang, whatever that skill's called. No stackies there.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting one, and you'd have to say that might be garnered towards late game protectors, because if you take the what's it called? There's percent damage, I think, later on in the game. I can't remember what it's called, but it can do a lot of damage against that protector with the percentage.
Giant flyer, let's call it for now.
Giant flyer sounds perfect, actually.
Yeah. Let's see, other talents are pretty standard with the... Is that standard? I don't know at tanks, but we have low blow, we have the Sylvanas Q, the vision on Chromie.
Yeah, I think most of this looks pretty good. I like the block party on ETC because I think Sylvanas AA damage, as Classics gets thrown in there, but manages to nicely power slide out. That's what you do when you keep your power slide available. But yeah, talents, mostly they look good to me.
Red team has taken their turret at minute 1, while the blue team decides to prepare their siege camp. I'm not sure why they're not capping it right now, but they're a bit late on their turret, and it's interesting that they do that siege camp and not capture it right away.
Yeah, that's a very strange ordering of priority for me. I think the turret camp is absolutely minute 1 important, because then you can get 2 of those for the first objective. The top camp, I believe you would leave that in order to push during the objective, but there's no reason to take it that at minute 1. I think it's a bit early.
Yeah, and the problem with taking it, if you kill the camp but leave it there, it takes the minute at which you killed it, so it will be a weaker siege camp pushing on the left side versus, well, the one on the right side, because the one on the left was taken at minute 1 and the one on the right was taken at minute 2. It's a small difference.
You know, I didn't actually know that. That's good information. I thought it was when you capped it.
Nope.
Wow, good to know. Thank you, Cesar. I appreciate the information.
At least if my information is correct, that's what I read up on the wiki. And that one can, of course, contain false information.
Well, I believe you. And Samu confirms it is correct, so thank you. I've learned something today. I hope everyone else has learned something today.
Always glad to provide some information. Let's see, fighting for the tribute, or camp, or point, or protector, or whatever. Both teams seem to be ready to go on the point. First protector, it's not that interesting. So, and the red team deciding to go for that healing camp at the same time.
Yeah, that's a nice priority, because they did take early control of the points, and that makes the blue team, Tysk Effektivitet, want to take control of it again. So in the meantime, they can get the healing camp, and look at the fortification camp, it's back in 10 seconds. So they can come in, so the second half of the first objective, with 3 items in hand, and that is going to be huge.
Yeah, the blue team only having control of that singular turret for now, and the red team going for 3. It's interesting that on... Oh no, level 4. Mercenary Queen on the Sylvanas. That's pretty standard. Pretty good. I think this is one of the only maps in which you take... Oh, fight in on the point. Blaze got thrown. Is not able to jet propulsion out. Is a bit slowed down by the bands. Is still followed by the Sonya, who got thrown in by the Garrosh. And Falstad and Sonya are able to stick to that Blaze and take him down.
Yeah, that was really nice. That chase went on for like 3/4 of the map there. I think Blaze did everything he could. He popped the 40 armor, survived for as long as possible. I don't know if Anduin was nearby to be able to pull him out, but it looked like Blaze and Anduin just went separate ways there, which might have been the reason that Blaze went down. But either way, first blood over to AFK for Coco, and it was a good one.
Yeah, very well played by AFK for Coco for now. Blue team is still in the point. Trying to contest that point, and ETC being thrown. I don't think... Oh, he does have power slide, so able to go out. Nice! 3-man stun by the Blaze in the backline, but it doesn't deter the red team, who still are setting up on the point. All the items are being dropped. The turret, healing beacon. But for now, both teams are playing it a little bit safe.
Yeah, and look at those slowing sounds there from Chromie. It's another jet propulsion away. But Chromie's making this very difficult to take. As Classic's get a nice spear into his face. Proximo doing good job there, but Garrosh manages to throw Proximo. And Sonya will be fine, but ETC is going to go down inside his own base. So, although there is a slowing sounds on the point to try and slow AFK for Coco down, they do take Protector number 1. And let's see if they can get more with it than what happened in Series number 1 today in the Division 5 final, which it basically got nothing.
Yeah, well, they got a single tower. Yeah, that Garrosh throw was absolutely insane. Throwing that Sonya with like 10% HP, saving her, and the Falstad was able to take down the ETC.
Absolutely. A good into the fray, or should you say out of the fray, is classic on a Garrosh. If you're a good Garrosh, you know how to use it. Classics, by the way, is getting taken down. There's the into the fray, and Proximo takes down the ETC. He goes down again. So there's the difference. A good into the fray and a good out of the fray. And actually, I was wrong because Garrosh is in the Protector.
Yeah, that was a leap because the red team has hit that level 10. And I'm not sure what ETC was sliding into. Maybe trying to prevent the red team from using their ultimates effectively. But it was not meant to be. So for the ultimates, we have Wailing Arrow, Leap by the Sonya, Gust. Oh, Blaze might be in trouble. Nah, Blaze is fine. We have the Taunt, and we have the massive shove on the Stukov.
Yeah, there's a lot of lockdown there. You have a Gust. Imagine getting Wind Tunnel into a Taunt, into a Leap, into a Wailing Arrow at level 20. That's going to be a disgusting amount of combo that you probably can't really get out of, I think. If you're Blaze, you have your new habit, so you can unstoppable your way out of there. Maybe Thrall's Earthquake can sort of mitigate it a bit, but that is looking like it's going to be a dirty combo later on in the game from the red team.
You try to go for bunker and then all hide in the bunker. Maybe. I know Blaze is in trouble once again, but it's get pulled out by the Anduin. Very well played for now.
Vestergaard with a really good pull there. You can't complain about that. And I think you might be right about the bunker, but it depends on the gust, right? If you put a bunker down and you're not in it, you're going to get gusted away from it. So it's going to come down to timing and efficiency, which hopefully Tysk Effektivitet can do properly.
Yeah, the red team taking another healing camp for themselves. So they're paying real good attention to which items are available at what times.
Yeah, that's good macro. It's good macro play, and I imagine they're going to head over to the top right camp to do that very soon. It doesn't get as much value as the first one does because the objective is top, but it's still nice to have it done anyway.
Yeah, it gets some experience. It relieves some pressure, or at least it relieves some pressure from the camp on the other side, which is being taken by the Thrall at the moment.
Yeah, taken immediately this time.
I can only agree with that method.
Right, level 13's coming in though, and we get some decent talents here. Sonya's a bit forgettable, it's more movement speed, but the the Haunting Wave Windrunner upgrade for Sylvanas is actually really big, so much mobility and damage, and then you have extra sustainability on Garrosh as well, so some good level 13s coming in there for AFK for Coco.
Yeah, and we have actually the Giant Flyer on level 13. It's called Sustained Winds. Percentage damage.
I would never have guessed that, but I'm still going to call it Giant Flyer.
Yeah, I'll call it Giant Flyer as well. Sustained Winds, that sounds like a healing talent.
It does.
Anyway, red team trying to run at the blue team in the middle, but slowing Sands preventing Garrosh from coming closer and slowing him down ever so slightly.
Yeah, that will be interesting to see on point number 2, how much value the slowing sands get, because it came in quite late for point number 1, and there was a really good gank onto Blaze. So I wonder how Chromie is going to affect Protector number 2, which is probably going to be forced on even talent hits, I would expect.
Yeah, both teams at that level 13 talent here. I don't think maybe the red team will wait for level 6. Oh, they're going for the invade on the enemy camp as well, because they were done early with their own and stealing it away because the Thrall is not available and the red team were marching on it as 5. So I agree with that, the blue team had to give that one away, but it's not pretty.
No, it's not. It's really good map awareness from the red team though, seeing that Q set is top lane and all 5 of you are well, let's say bot lane, you can go for that invade, but I also really love, as you say, the call from the blue team to just give it up. At the end of the day, yes, it is a turret that you're missing out on, but it's just a turret, it's not the end of the world. You don't need to die for it.
And now the blue team notices that the Sonya is still bottom, so they are attempting to make a 5-man rotation, trying that light bomb on the ETC, but ETC is bursted down immediately, so the light bomb didn't even proc.
Huge, really good stuff there from Yimek. The throw, the taunt, and the actual follow-up coming in as well. No heroics committed other than Warlord's challenge, so the red team is looking so good right now.
Yeah, I agree. No kills for the blue team, yeah, and 4 going over to the red team. So it's kind of a low kill game, but you expect it on them. Oh, Blaze in trouble in the mid lane. Getting silenced, getting stunned. There's just one person on the point still, but the rest of the red team is still going around the map as a kind of a kill squad to look for those kills, because they know that they have an advantage with that level 16.
Oh, absolutely. They're just bullying them. And that's the sign of a good team, when you know you have that advantage and you have the confidence to just go in. And Sonya committed to that leap and just said, I'm going for this leap. And the follow-up from Stukov with the silencing arm under was there, and the damage was just disgusting. So really good communication and so much confidence right now from AFK for Coco.
Yeah. Protector is being marched into the bot lane where the final fort of the blue team is waiting. Blue team is harassing the Protector for a bit, but they are still that talent tier behind, so I'm not sure if they want to take that fight. They do march bot to set up for the defense. Let's see how this fight pans out.
Yeah, the slowing stance is just trying to slow things down. It's in not a great position behind the wall. I don't think anyone would really go there, but it could be that that was just where the red team was coming from. I think Garrosh in the Protector, it makes you a little bit less afraid because you're not going to get thrown in or taunted, but he can get out of it, of course. It takes a second or two to get out, but this fort, it looks like it's going down one way or the other.
Yeah, in the meantime, Blaze is trying to get his team to the level 16, but a leap is initiated onto the Chromie, but is being pulled out by the Anduin right away. Turrets are being dropped by the red team, but the blue team is able to make their ground escape. Maybe the red team... Oh, stunned by Blaze. Will the ETC able... Oh, taunt! And the ETC is being vanished once again without able to press any of his buttons. Sonya is on the hunt, trying to get to the Anduin, but Anduin is able to march behind the gate. Blaze is still on the fence if he wants to go back in, but I don't think that would be a great plan, as the red team is still fairly healthy and they are all there, and they are missing a cow.
Yeah, it was opportunistic, I think, from the blue team. I liked what they did. They notified that Sonya's leap was down. So when Blaze came in with that flank, with that big jet propulsion, and Chromie was there to put down the slowing sands as well, I really thought that could be a turning point. But the huge Warlord's challenge from Yimek just stopped that in its tracks. And again, just the damage that seems to be coming out from Thrall as well. Thrall is actually top damage in the whole game, but that's not quite enough to get the counter kills. Unfortunately, you need to have some more precision burst, I think, from that Chromie and that Thrall on the same target at the same time. Yes,
I agree. The Garrosh is probably the most tankier in the game, together with the Blaze, but ETC is he's a tank. And with a block, he does prevent some damage, but he's one of the on the squishier side of the tank, don't you think? Oh, ETC trying to invade the healing beacon, but the leap into the Sylvanas damage that just was, I think. That was crazy.
Yeah, Sylvanas with the Windrunner at level 13 does so much work. But for me, that fight all comes down to Beanfish. Managed to get that root combo onto ETC, and then Sonya leaps on to keep him in the silence. He can't get that armor that his basic abilities give him if he can't use his abilities.
Yes, indeed. You can't get stuff if you can't use... Never mind, I don't know where I'm going with that, but yeah, agreed. Anyway, the red team is marching into the bottom lane where the next Protector will spawn. If they can soften up this wall or even clear it already, they're dropping turrets for this push as well, which they can of course do because they're fallen items. The blue team is trying to make their stand, but they do not have the ETC available, who just has respawned. Blaze able to drop into the bunker, and when able to pull him out, they cannot get the kill just yet onto the Blaze, and the blue team is fine for now.
Yeah, that was I want to say a bit greedy from Blaze there, because once you miss that jet propulsion and you're in the middle of the entire enemy team, I think that's the moment to press your bunker, but decided to prop the armor and walk out, but Garrosh tries to throw him back in. Luckily for Blaze, the bunker does come down to stop the kill, but pushing your limits there, I think, as Blaze. You should be a bit more safe, but with 2 levels down, maybe it's time to start making those risky plays.
Yep, the blue team having reached the level 20 for their storm talents, and the blue team still 2 levels away from that. That probably means that they will have to surrender this bottom protector, which will march for their keeps. Probably won't end the game, but it will be quite dangerous as the red team still has all their buildings available. Oh, gank onto Sonya maybe? Nope, slight misses, and Sonya knows what's up.
Yeah, it's good awareness from Sonya there, I think. Again, opportunistic from the blue team. It's nice to see them trying it. But you're right, they basically just have to turtle up. They have to try and live to get their own level 20s. The Wombo combo that I mentioned earlier is not really as powerful as it could be. We don't have that wind tunnel from Farstad. We have Nexus Frenzy instead.
Yep, so going for more auto-attack damage, because Sylvanas is basically a mage with this build. So they want to have that consistent damage out of the Falstad instead. Sylvanas not opting for the Windrunner talent because she probably feels safe enough with her team backing her up, so don't need that unstoppable. But that's what you usually see in that Windrunner build, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. Deafening Blast is not a talent you see taken very much. I think it's a greedy talent, but if you do get that Wailing Arrow in the center, which looks like it might be coming in on delete, Brutus is so going down. Oh, the pull from Vestergaard was so good, but unfortunately Falstad's AA was already in the air to take Chromie down, and this keep is absolutely going down. Do you think this could be a call to end or not?
Chromie is down, which is most of the damage on the Protector, so I think they can at least make the core attempt. Maybe they won't get it, but they can deal a lot of damage to this core for sure. And the red teams are a bit split on the decision. The Protector is wailing away at the core while the heroes are still hunting for more kills. And if they can get another kill, I think this game is over for sure. But for now, the blue teams here are able to maintain that life. But with the core being at 50% and the Protector also being at 50%, I don't think that the blue team will be making this defense possible. And the core does fall.
Yeah, GG's, well played to AFK for Coco. I think that was quite dominant in some regards. I like the call to get that kill. As soon as you see Chromie is in trouble, once you get that kill, unfortunately, it looks very hard for the blue team to come back into that. I think it was a good effort, but nice gust to push the team away, and a nice massive shove as well to make sure that the Protector can just rail on that call.
Yeah, and the blue team wasn't level 20 yet as well, so that probably also assisted in their decision for we can just march for core here.
Exactly, yeah. Managing to end the game like a minuscule second before level 20 is always good.
In the GGS game, number 1 goes to FK for Cocoa in a very clean, calm, collected way. On 0 deaths on their side, 8 deaths on the other side. Very well done by FK for Cocoa, just punishing the ETC for, as we said, not being a very tanky tank. Well,
yes,
well done there. But also a thing FK for Cocoa did very, very well in this game, number 1, is the item prioritization. They had at most points, especially later on in the game, they had multiple items, if not even they had all 5 items they could have, where in the end when they went for the bottom, they had 2 healing items and 3 turrets, which is especially together with Mercenary Queen very, very strong, because the more turrets you have, the more damage they deal, and it's the harder it is for you to go into them, and having Mercenary Queen just enhances this even more.
It was pretty funny because most of the time they had 4 items, and then it was they did a camp and then they were shuffling around. Oh, who's the one without the item again? Oh, you have to pick up the item. And then they went for a gank, used 1 item and got the gank, and then they went for a next item, and then it was another curse shuffle from, oh, who has to pick? Oh, you're without an item, you pick the item.
If you had to pick a situation to be in though, you'd absolutely take that over, oh god, we have no items, what do we do?
Fair enough, fair enough.
The map number 2 won't have items though. I think only Volskaya's map with items.
Only Volskaya has items.
So But it still has a lot of chems this game, and number 2 is going to be Garden of Terror.
Asterisk in the rotation, because we also have Hanamura and Warhead. Never mind those maps. We don't like those anyway. We don't like those maps over here.
We don't want no Hanamura in our map pool. We want better maps like Garden of Terror, yes.
I
mean,
don't mind Garden of Terror. Garden of Terror is it's another macro map. So not too surprising to see AFK for Coco go for this one. It's kind of similar to the game that they want to play.
Yeah, Garden of Terror is another big map, and especially here we have again a lot of bushes and a lot of possibilities for Garrosh to be right around the corner and just throw you in if you don't look.
I was for sure that you were going to make a Dahaka reference there with the bushes.
Maybe later.
Fine. Let's see, have either team played on this map? AFK for Coco has played on it twice in the regular season, won both. Hasn't picked it themselves, so this will be the first time. And it's been played against Tysk Effektivitet twice as well, and they won 0 out of those.
So the stats not looking in Tysk Effektivitet's favour there. However, this is a grand final, right? And it's a best of 5 as well. So there's still more to come, regardless of whether you lose your first game. It's not like we absolutely have to win this. Reverse sweeps are possible. I think we saw one in, was it Division 6 grand final? So it's not the end of the world even if you do lose, but this is where you can pull out strategies that you have thought about during the break, shall we say, between the main season and the playoffs. So there could even be, let's say, a buffed Sergeant Hammer coming out or something like that.
Don't get cheeky here, Ian.
I want it a bit spicy, you know?
Yeah, that's fair enough. Maybe a Murky. Like, this is one of those maps that you can proxy those lanes perfectly.
Unironically, I would not mind. I think there's better options for sure, but if you're not expecting a Murky, and if you get to level 20 and you take something like Big Tuna Kahuna, Murky is a pain to deal with.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Especially having those bribe stacks and being able to just bribe opponents' chems pretty quickly to also be quite annoying for a map with that many chems also.
Because cams are very important on this map as well, so I'm expecting a little bit of an advantage for AFK for Coco here as well. But this does mean that maybe Rhaegar rises a bit in priority, because he's very much capable of soloing, well, any of these cams really.
Yeah, for sure. I'm surprised we didn't see him. I guess the nerfs that we've... Is it 2 consecutive nerfs I think Rhaegar has had, so maybe he's fallen off a little bit there, but again, as you say, for a map like this where camp is important, I do think we'll see him come out. I don't know which team is going to take him, but I believe we'll see a Rhaegar, at least a ban, if not a pick here.
Indeed, Garden of Terror, especially those bruiser cams, are cams Rhaegar can do pretty nicely, where a lot of heroes struggle with. The easy cams, of course, everyone can do them because you just gotta dodge those small red circles the giants throw at you, but the bruiser cam is where it's starting to get rough.
But you do want to take them with a little bit of speed between them, because if it takes you 2 minutes to grab one of those cams, you might as well soak the 4 waves that you get then and leave it to someone who can actually do it in like 30 to 45 seconds.
For sure, and I think this is where you'll see the auto attacker role coming in. You're bound to see something like a Vala, a Greymane, maybe a Zul'jin, something like that, in order to take those camps as quickly as you can.
I mean, yes, but like with Vikings, you just soak 2 lanes anyways, and then Eric can also take the camp, even if it takes him a minute or 2.
Well, those Vikings came out of left field there. We didn't even mention those. Although I do think this is a map where Vikings can work. It's not. I don't think it's their best map, but it can work for sure.
I remember old Garden being like insane for Vikings because you just put them into the plan and then they felt mighty, and were broken, but now New Garden, I agree, it's okay map, but still, there's an objective. It's kind of goes with the same idea as Cursed Hollow comes. It's a big map, there's a lot of cannons. You could even go bribe with Vikings here, and you just get a lot of split soak while your team tries to delay the objective. But talking about big map and global soaking, we have Falstad being banned this time by Tysk Effektivitet, as he's still bringing a lot of value on Garden of Terror, and AFK for Cocoa starting with the Johanna ban.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, so one team still preventing the comfort picks that were used in the first game, and the other team going for the meta bans. Like two of the 5 picks that were used against them are banned out here. What do you think of that, Kestrel?
I think the Garrosh ban is good, because if you can make Garrosh work on Volskaya Foundry, where you basically have no bushes to walk out and surprise people from, a map like Garden of Terror, you are going to have a really rough time against a Garrosh who could be in literally any bush anywhere. So I like the ban.
Yep.
Another tank ban coming out of AFK for Cocoa, banning out the Anubarak, so we just have like Diablo, maybe May even, Varian of course as well, or maybe we're gonna even see a Blaze being picked up and put into the main tank spot for any of the teams.
There's still a lot of good tanks remaining, so not too worried. It's only if you're not comfortable on too many tanks that you might run into troubles, but you still have like Yume, what's that Dreadlord called again?
Morganis.
Morganis, pretty okay. Then there's other options. I'm no play tank. I don't.
We
really
also do see Tysk Effektivitet now picking up the Savannah's first pick, which is another deny to AFK for Cocoa's draft from the last game. But this also means Hanzo is open, and Tychus is open, and Anduin is open.
The Anduin, I'm not that actually fussed about. I think that's a fine decision, because you still have Rhaegar and Stukov, and even Brightwing to take your pick off here. So the healer pool not being choked out, I don't think is a big deal. Taking the Sylvanas, which I think we all saw did a really good job in the last game, is not the worst idea. But of course there is still Tychus and Hanzo open, which does make that role a bit tricky if you are Tysk Effektivitet.
There we have Muradin and Rhaegar. So Muradin very good at holding off the assault. Or jumping in, whatever floats your boat, I guess. And Rhaegar for that camp clear or soak that he can bring.
Yeah, I'm not too surprised to see that. I think Muradin is a good choice as well against Tychus, because yeah, Tychus is going to unload his minigun on you, but you're Muradin. You don't even need a healer to get your health back, just a couple of seconds away from the fight.
Also, Muradin has the option to go for attack speed slow, for even better attack speed slow than his W on level 4, or to go for imposing presence at level 16, which reduces the attack speed slow when you attack Muradin, which are two very good talents against Tychus, which make you very sustainable against him.
And I think that depends on the rest of the draft, because if it's just a Tychus, I'm not sure if the attack speed slow is worth it on level 4. But we shall see what the rest brings. Junkrat has been banned, as Sonya. That's 3 heroes that has been played in the previous game. Maybe that's a little bit of an overreaction from Tysk Effektivitet.
And they take the Sylvanas as well. We didn't like your draft, so you're not having 4 of those 5 heroes.
Yes.
The only one left is the Stukov, but they already have Anduin, so K4 Co-op probably won't pick him.
I mean, double support Tychus, it's new meta. There we have the Haka, the global, that is ever annoying on like every map.
And who's broken?
Sure. And a Jaina, what do we think of that?
I love Jaina. I think Jaina is really good. She's short range burst. If you can get that off and you're not really in any trouble, I think she's a fine pick. You don't know what the last 2 picks are from Tysk Effektivitet, but at the moment I'm not scared of playing Jaina into this.
Also, Jaina brings in Camp Clear, which is lacking a little bit so far for AFK for Cocoa, as she can just throw her spells at it. Well, we do see Tysk Effektivitet now picking up Hanzo and Uro.
Let us show you how to play ETC, says AFK for Coco.
Although we have the Hanzo this time on the side of Tysk Effektivitet, so even though a very comfortable pick for AFK for Koa, they don't even go for it early on in the draft. Or don't even prioritize him that much in some cases, so they definitely have a plan behind the draft right now.
You know what, I think for me, those last 2 picks from Tysk Effektivitet have actually changed the draft a little bit for me. I think they are 2 very smart picks. The Hanzo is going to be able to poke the Haka and ETC down, and Yrel is actually going to cause a lot of disruption against the Jaina and even the Tychus as well. So being able to like attack on 2 fronts here, you've got Yrel who's going to cause havoc, and you've got Hanzo and Sylvanas who are just going to destroy the front line. I think that's an interesting choice, and I like it.
And we are going into game number 2 of the best of 5 series. Take it away, Castro and Skizo, as the question will be Bloodlust or no?
No.
No.
Are you mad? Anyway, they're down a game. They're not out. They're blue. They're Tysk Effektivitet with classics on Muradin, Buza playing Hanzo, Switzy on Yrel, Vestergaard on Rhaegar, and Brutus playing Sylvanas.
Yes, and on the right-hand side, in red, we have AFK for Coco with Yimek playing ETC, Poppin Fresh is on Tychus, Beanfish playing Anduin, Proximo is on Tahaka, and Linux is playing Jaina the Frostmage.
BD Daka, I like it. And as we said earlier, Muradin, 3rd wind, so he can take those shells from the Tychus, but still be fine. Q-Bill for Hanzo. It's interesting to call out. Ooh, Dong onto Hanzo, and Hanzo is absolutely deleted. Well, they have to play the long-range game with on the blue side, and they can't be picked out like that, because that's what the red team wants.
Exactly. The thing is, like, it's a little mistake, and I think every single human being who plays Heroes of the Storm has done that at some point. So it's 300 XP. It's really not the biggest deal as long as you're in your lanes and you're getting your XP. It's just a little bit embarrassing, but that's all it is, I think. But good start there from AFK for Coco.
Yep. Yeah, those early game kills aren't worth all that much. They're worth less than half a minion wave. I have to go a little off my head, but it's still, it does hit the morale a little bit. And as we see here, both teams starting on their camps in the bot lane, as that's where the seed spawns first. Muradin is checking out, seeing that that camp is done, and has to make a run for his life, because the entirety of the team is there.
I love that. Yimek just chasing him across the map. He doesn't need to be, but he's just going to make sure you're nowhere near my team.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. Anyway, blue team, their small camp is on the same side as their big camp, so they are a little bit quicker on taking that middle camp, but the red team immediately counteracting that, sending that Jaina over there to set the pressure there.
It was a good rotation actually there from Proximo. I'm not sure if it was caught or not, but there was an attempt to gank Zwitzy. There's a nice drag coming out of there onto Buza. But yeah, I saw Yrel in the mid lane, and she was getting approached upon by 4 heroes of AFK for Coco. Unfortunately, the drag from Proximo missed, but it was a good rotation, and it shows that they're really aware of the map presence, and that's how they want to play it. They want to get those ganks in there.
Oh, now initiation onto Beanfish, and Anduin is absolutely murdered by the 5-man team of Tysk Effektivitet, who was, I'm not sure where they're rotating upon. Maybe they were going to check on the bruiser camp to make sure that it wasn't being done.
It did look a bit strange, didn't it? Because the gank happened literally basically in front of Anduin's towers. So it was a strange area for a gank, but I mean, fair play, you can't argue, it worked, right? So get down to it, good stuff. 1-1 in kills now.
Yeah, like I said, I think they wanted to check upon the bruiser camp, and then they walked upon the Anduin and were like, yeah, free kill, let's go.
Exactly. Again, I used this word like 4 times already. It's opportunistic. You just check something out, you see an opportunity, and you grab it, and I like that.
Yep, I agree 100%. Let's see, Tyke has not taken his level 4 just yet, so that's interesting.
Master Assassin?
Most of the time it's Master Assassin if you want to go for the Odin, but maybe he's not sure yet. Maybe he wants to go for a Draken Laser Drill. Ooh, Drak onto Yrel, and the rest of the team is incoming as well. Evading the slide of the ETC, but getting rooted by the Anduin and brought down.
Yeah. I feel a bit of a lapse of concentration perhaps from the Urel player there, because you could see that Dahaka was walking in a direct line towards you, but Urel just continued the mount animation as if not really looking, or maybe was looking somewhere else on the map, I'm not sure. But good drag and another good kill there.
Yep, very much so. This time neutral seed, but because the hero is down. Hero making her way over, so is here in time. Now let's see both teams setting up for a fight. Level 7, so even talents.
Yeah, it's a good seed as well, right in the middle, as ETC gets a nice stunt, slowed a lot as there as well. Nice cleanse coming out to make sure Classics is going to be okay. Good drag there onto Boozer, manages to jump out on 120 HP. Hanzo's going to be okay, Zwitzy making sure that Proximo doesn't get anywhere near. I think the blue team might want to give this up, but it was a really, really close call there. Boozer lucky to be alive.
Yeah, and the 4-man team of the red side zoning away the rest of the team so that Tykus can complete that capture, or whoever it was that was capturing the tribute. I think it was Tykus, but doesn't matter.
Yeah, the Haunting Wave was almost there for the interrupt, but a microsecond too late. But as you mentioned, Tykus, the level 4 that we were talking about is the bigger they are. I'm not sure what to think about that, but does that suggest to you that perhaps this could be a Draken laser drill game?
Yeah, I think it could. Wasn't Dragon? I'm not sure about the patch notes on Dragon laser drill, because I do like me a giant master assassin Odin just shell away at the turrets.
That does sound fun when you put it like that.
Yeah, indeed. But I think they see that Muradin jumping in, so they expect to root him down and then just, the bigger they are, I'm down. But now stuns going out onto ETC, being pulled to safety by the Anduin.
Yeah, good save there from Beanfish.
Burrow, Rhaegar's dragged under the towers, is rooted and is killed. So
look how long that drag lasts though. Is it 1.75 seconds or something? It's so long. And then the increased drag duration with the Feeding Frenzy. I feel like Rhaegar just couldn't play the game though.
Yeah, 1.75 stun onto the drag. Well, it was too long for the Rhaegar, who got killed. Blue team still hitting level 10 just a microsecond earlier, and we have a mind control on the Sylvanas this time.
I like it, to be honest. I think it's a good ult. And if you look at, say, Tychus, I mean, Tychus doesn't really care about your Wailing Arrow, right? Jaina, I suppose, does. So I could see it going both ways, but I do like mind control. It isolates, and I like that.
The team might go for an invade onto the Bruiser camp on the blue side, but they don't have the numbers just yet. Jaina isn't here. They still trying. Oh, Urel able to boink the ETC off the point and capturing it for themselves. Now the blue team trying to go on the hunt. Divine Steed used by Urel to get the extra mounted speed. Stun onto Anduin. Nice mosh pit into Ring of Frost. The Ancestral Healing was just a little bit too late to keep the Urel safe. Now, Muradin might be in trouble able to hop over the wall, but he's not safe yet because he has to pass the red team. Still running. Can he get away? Third wind activates. Another jump. The link misses. He's still on the run. The stun, but missing. The Haka has to activate Avatar to stay alive. Another jump, and he's to safety. That was cue the hillbilly music. Like,
I was thinking the same thing.
Ooh, mind control. The blue team is still hunting here, and the red team is not complete. So it doesn't matter that they are here alive. And the first kill going out onto the Anduin. Now, the rest of the red team members have to make sure that they get out. Urel might be in a little bit of trouble. It's taking a lot of damage, but Ancestral Healing keeping her safe. Now, the Haka is in a little bit of a bind, but probably can go to safety. Is there a stun? There is no stun. So the Haka keeps himself safe. Was that an arrow?
It was a dragon's arrow to try and kill the Dahaka, but the fountain kept him alive by one tick. It was so close.
Very nice, very nice. 2 seeds apiece, so the next seed is all to play for. And it will spawn in the middle, as most of the fifth seeds do, I think, on this map. So we will see which team will take the first objective for themselves.
Yeah, it's going to be tight, and there's a moment now where all of the camps basically have to get cleaned up. So it's going to be a bit of soaking, a bit of camp taking. I don't think the camps are going to do too much, but they do provide a little bit of a distraction because of, as you say, the seed being placed in the middle. So I think we're going to have a nice 13 versus 13 fight here, and it could be the first gigantic calamity for one of these teams.
Yes. Let's see what happens. ETC check-in. Yep, you're indeed doing the camp. Just like we actually knew that you were doing. The blue team leaving a little bit of the bruiser camp alive in the top lane, so they will take some damage to that top fort, but they have to fight for the seed, or else they might fall even more behind. Oh, they're not even that. They're not behind. What am I talking about?
Yeah, it's very even at the moment. I do like the macro play there from AFK for Coco, leaving that camp in the top lane. Classic's taking a lot of damage, but now look at the backline. Zutzi's just in there, causing that mayhem that we spoke about earlier. Channel is attempted by Vestergaard, but no dice.
Muradin took a lot of damage, is trying to get his third win to activate, but ETC is just preventing that. Yrel once again in the backline, getting silenced, getting killed with the mind control on the ETC. He's being brought down. It's a 1-for-1 exchange so far. Both teams losing a frontliner, and the teams go and reset for now, going back to their positions. But I think this favors the blue team, who has more long-range heroes, while the red team has to get a lot closer to get their damage dealt.
Yeah, for sure. Hanzo and Sylvanas are going to be happy with that trade, I think. It's interesting that both Yrel and ETC didn't use the heroics before they died. I think the isolation was very good there, and then Mosh Pit was just not possible. Classy's getting solo, attempts to channel while the third wind activates, but I think Poppin' Fresh has got that on lockdown. And here come Yrel and ETC back to the fight. So much damage going into the Haka. Amazing Stormbow there from Hanzo to seal the kill. Linux and Poppin' Fresh also getting solo, but they are behind the gate now, and everything is fine. But the first tribute gets or the third tribute, I should say, gets taken by the blue team, and here come the Garden Terrors.
Yeah, let's see how much damage they can do. This is one of the stronger objectives, I always feel, because they disable structures. They deal a lot of siege damage like their bosses. They're in all of the lanes at the same time. They don't die over time, or do they? I don't actually know.
No, they don't.
But yes, let's see. Bottom fort destroyed. Mid fort probably destroyed. Top fort can be defended by the Jaina, but it does mean that the Jaina is not in the mid lane, as she's in the top lane. So the blue team can play a lot more aggressively, because one of the damage dealers on the red side is missing.
Look at the bot lane though. Look at that bot lane. They're still so healthy on that Garden Terror. The plant is down. The bot keep wall is actually going to fall here, I think.
Yep, Yrel tried to get a cheeky kill onto the Jaina, almost got away with that. But Jaina did stay alive, and now the entirety of the red team is in the bot lane, clearing out that final terror, and the blue team has access to Sylvanas' black arrows, disabling that fort and doing a lot of siege damage here.
Oh, the Dahaka flank.
Yeah, but the contamination misses. Isolation, not contamination. Level 20 upgrade. But the red team is still chasing. Nice stun by the Muradin. And they're just wanting to back off because they did get what they came for. And that is that top lane fort. All forts down for the side of the red team.
Yeah, I think in terms of first objectives, Garden Terrors, as you mentioned, are generally very good. And I think getting 3 full forts down is basically what you would expect, if not slightly above what you would expect. So I think really good objective phase there from the blue team. And now, though, they have to defend, because the red team obviously is going to get their objective phase if they get one more seed, which is coming in now. And it's on the red-hand side as well.
Yeah, but they might even consider giving that away. Like, push out a few lanes while the objective is happening, so that the Garden Terror spawn, like, way back. Oh, there was a fight happening in the bot lane. Muradin was checking on the camp. Yep, you're indeed doing the camp with your entire team. So he got stunned, rooted, and destroyed. So now there's not a single chance of the blue team contesting this seed.
No, absolutely not. But the good news is that bot lane is very pushed out, and you're getting a potential gank on Dahaka. No, you're not. He pops his essence, and he's absolutely fine.
There's a gank onto the Rhaegar. Mosh Pit has been used for that single kill, which is, in my opinion, just pressure Mosh Pit. Just get the kill. The cooldown might be long, but it does give you that objective, and you need that macro pressure right now.
Oh, of course, there is absolutely nothing wrong with a one-man mosh pit, especially when you take Encore at level 13 and you can get it back even quicker. If you can add that pressure, I mean, look at this, you don't have Rhaegar, you don't have Ancestral for the next 20-25 seconds before he even gets here, and you can get another kill from that, so it's good to do. But here comes an engage from the blue team, Light Bomb comes out in response, so the Ring of Frost is on the ground, the Mind Control hits Yemek, who's getting a lot of damage put in, but the Garden Terror is coming in, you have to back off, everyone is going to live here. No, Classics is getting absolutely power slid, is on no health, and Jaina with that amazing root talent comes in and takes him down.
I'm not sure about that engage there, because you know that the objective is incoming, you know that there's 4 members of the enemy team, so you're basically taking an even fight with a boss incoming. Oh, it's very dangerous.
I think it's a greedy play. I think they see an opportunity, they try to take it. Remember that kill that they got on Anduin earlier in the game? Maybe they saw the same kind of opportunity, but as you say, with a Garden Terror in the same lane, disabling your structures and stunning you if you're near it, I don't think you want to take that.
Yep, well, if they can get this bottom fort alive, then they might consider that a win here, but they might lose the URL just for that. Maybe? Oh, URL's fine, never mind. Going in even more aggressive, trying to take down the ETC with that bonus damage that she got on her hammer at level 16. Wait, no, she didn't take that talent. Never mind, I'm talking... Whatever.
I think it was nice though. To be honest, when I saw Zwitzi in the bot lane, like below the fort, and like the entire red team was surrounding the fort, and I saw that Ardent Defender was still on cooldown, I thought, oh no, that's another kill.
Yeah.
But it looks like the red team pulled out and Zwitzi going in just to make sure that they were definitely out.
Yes, I agree. And they did manage to keep that bottom fort alive, so that's a massive win for the blue team, in my opinion.
Yeah, when you think about how it started as well, with Rhaegar being dead, the engage that went wrong, and Muradin dying, to somehow come out of that by only losing top fort, which was already half dead, and mid fort, I think that's an incredible defense there from Tysk Effektivitet. Good job.
Yeah, just the solo URL able to stop 4 members was, yep, very impressive. Well played, well played. And now we go back to your regular camping schedule. There's camps on the map, you take camps on the map.
Exactly. But this is where I think Garden of Terror, this is going to be like a 30-minute game, I reckon, because both teams on no tributes, camps are just going to be constantly rotated. Zero keeps taken down. There is catapult pressure in favour of Tysk Effektivitet in the bot lane, but that's all really, and that'll be cleared up. So I think we might be in for a long one as we approach those level 20s.
Yeah, and the blue team has managed to get the level 20 a little bit before the red team did, so they might be taking this tribute for free. Free, quote unquote, because, you know, it still takes time, and you know what I mean.
It's
anyway,
basically free, yeah.
basically sort of kind of free, because they could have used that level 20 advantage to, I don't know, get a front wall somewhere maybe. That's probably not worth it. Anyway, level 20 on both sides. Oh, the Haka going in aggressive. But that does mean... Oh, will he get down before his team gets here? No, he's able to burrow underneath. And this massive silence onto the Hanzo. Hanzo is the first to fall. And this Mosh Light... Oh, Muradin's also dead. I mean, Urel's dancing, not being able to press any buttons. I was for sure that the Haka was dead there. Well, able to be burrowed at the last second. Amazing.
I mean, are Primal Zerg like cats? Do they have 9 lives? Because that, by all rights, should have been a dead Dahaka, and somehow, some way, he managed to get the burrow off with, I think it was like 12 HP or something like that.
It was 2 digits, yeah. I'm not sure how that happened, because that looked very, very greedy to me when that Dahaka, but they were able to get away with it. And it looks like AFK for Coco will take map to number 2 for themselves as well. That must be a blow for the not morality, the... Morale. What?
Morale, I think morale.
Morale from the blue team.
Indeed. I would be not upset about that, but I guess just how did he not die? How is what the question I would be asking. And by all rights, he shouldn't be alive. And if that, just like 100 more damage, and that could have been a completely different end to that game.
Yeah, if they were able to get that kill onto the Haka, that fight would be very, very different. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. I think the blue team deserved a little bit more there.
But the Haka is just broke. You've got to accept it. He's a way too good hero. So he cannot die. He shall not be dead. That wasn't very greedy, mate. It was also very close. He even burrowed out. Like he burrowed on the spot and then burrowed out to not lose it, but that nearly killed him because the Hans auto attack was very close to getting off and killing him.
Nearly killed him. He got nearly killed by moving onto that point, not by burrowing there.
But he burrowed there and then unburrowed. Like, you know, burrow is digging into the ground. This is the actual burrow, because people always get that wrong. It's actually called brush stalker when you come and use your global. But yeah, game number 2 going to AFK for Cocoa. Again, this time a few more signs of life from Tysk Effektivitet though, as we do see 11-4 in kills, and especially the Anduin was caught out 2 times and very well done by Tysk Effektivitet, especially that early one onto him where he was alone. Caught off was very well done, so definitely Tysk Effektivitet maybe just setting them up for a reverse sweep now.
Yeah, it's certainly rising stats. So if they can keep this up, they'll like smash the final game, the 5th game, like 35-0, and take the series.
Yeah, it's going to be set up for quite an intense final, I think, because your tournament life is on the line now. Imagine the difference here. You have to win 3 maps in a row if you want to win the highest quality metal that Heroes Lounge has to offer. It can be done, and it has already been done. So don't be too disheartened, and think about the good things you did in that match, and hold on to that, because you can do it again, and this time you can do even better and even win.
Yes, for sure.
Indeed, and for map number 3 we do have Tysk Effektivitet again going with the first pick, so we're gonna see AFK for Cocoa with the choice of map, which is a little bit... I'm not the biggest fan of it. I think they should take a map they're comfortable on the side of Tysk Effektivitet to get the mental back into... go something comfy in the draft, get the mental back on their side, push them up again, and then try to win the next 2 maps out of it. But they rather go with the first pick and try to pick an advantage in the draft. In terms of maps still left open, we do see Ultrac Pass, Cursed Hollow, Tomb, and Towers of Doom.
Go Ultrac Pass. Go.
And the way AFK for Cocoa played, I would say they do be a little bit strong in team fights, or at least they looked very strong in team fights with the drafts they had so far. So I think Tomb or Towers do be good maps for them, but no, it's going to be a different one as they are picking Cursed for game number 3.
Towers?
Cursed is up.
But they're so good at macro.
But they also dominated team fights. They had a very, very clean stun chain with the ETC, the Haka, Anduin as well. And especially the Haka in the last game got some really, really good licks when people did not expect and just dragged them into the tower range and got the kill out of it.
I don't know. I think their ganking potential was way better than their team fight actually was.
So how do you see this going down then? Because effectively, Cursed Hollow is just Garden of Terror with a different skin. Effectively. So if you are Tysk Effektivitet, how do you stop AFK for Cocoa doing what they did last game? And the more important question would be, do you want to? Because if you are Tysk Effektivitet, you played a good game. You just got a little bit caught out at the end and in some other areas. Do you want to change what you've done? Do you want to change what AFK for Cocoa have done? Or do you just want to say, let's do exactly what we did, but a little bit better?
I don't know, if they can do it a little bit better on this map, I think they win that map. So I think they if they can like just make it a little bit tighter, that they can eke out a win on this map. So I'd be surprised if they like go all the way the other way, if that makes sense.
I can understand that. And my follow-up question then would simply be, Sergeant Hammer time? Question mark?
Yes, for sure. You want to outrange, like you did in the previous game. You want to outrange the enemies, and Sergeant Hammer is definitely the poster child for that one.
There we go. You've heard it here. We're getting Sergeant Hammer.
Yeah, that's heard it here first.
I mean, the Hammer was in an okay spot. Like, she was just not played often because people don't really wanted to play her. And now they buffed her. And now she's sort of broken in most games. And
Still has to stand still. I don't know. That's a pretty major downside.
I mean, yes, but that's the thing. If you don't go up against the Chromie, Liming, Tyke, Chromie,
Yeah,
Liming, or something like that, who really punishes you for standing still. But even now with the buffs, she's so good. I would say you can play against Chromie or something because you just have so much damage, and you have the unstoppable and the mobility, so you actually are okay in most against one of those heroes. If they have 2 or 3, then it's getting really rough. But even one hero who counters Hammer is sometimes not enough to punish her because she's now really, really strong. And
I think Hammer would have been an okay pick into that previous team because you have a Yrel and a Muradin to peel for you, and they don't really can dive onto the backline easily with Tychus and Jaina, so you kind of shell away.
yeah, also, like, what does ETC want to do against you? He starts stepping up, you just hit him. If he tries to power slide, you can unstoppable, or you just knock him away. There's not much ETC does into you. I mean, I guess the Haka can be quite annoying if he gets a nice burrow, nice brush stalker into a lick, and then drags you to Africa. But else, I agree. Hammer do be a very strong hero right now, and I'm surprised people did not catch up on her too much so far.
I mean, the patch is what? How many days old?
Week?
Like a week or so, I guess. I've seen it a lot in Storm League. Every Storm League game, I'm getting hammers now.
You do? I don't get any. And I'm happy abusing her myself from time to time.
Good to know if I ever come across you in Storm League.
You probably won't. But yeah, let's go into game number 3, into the draft, as Tysk is going with the first pick for the third and potentially last time, as FK for Cocoa choose the map.
Let's go.
I mean, it might just be FK for Cocoa picking first pick next.
5-game series, Samuel.
That's what I said, Skizar. Like, if K for Cocoa loses now and then goes for first pick, so Tysk won't have first pick anymore.
But that's when the hammer comes in, because fifth and final pick can't be counted.
That's when the hammer comes in. You have heard it first, and we do have Fossil as the first ban from Tysk, so they again get rid of a global.
Just following the same strategies that they did in map number 2. I agree with this strategy.
And yes, Paralyzer, it is a best of 5, as all finals have been for quite a long time. And now FK for Koa with the ban. I mean, I've enjoyed to ban Johanna and Anub, and they stick with it so far. Johanna is the ban, and I would assume to see Anubarak as the second ban from AFK for Koa. The question though is for Tysk, do they adapt? Do they go with the Dehaka now as a ban to just get rid of another global? Which FK for Koa showed they also play the Dehaka, so it's definitely worth a thought of banning him as well. Or will they?
I think you take it. I think you take it.
It's the other option. You have the first pick. You can just look into picking him yourself, but no. My boy!
No, the Haka this game. What was the other band that they had here? Garrosh.
It hurts.
Garrosh band here earlier.
It hurts.
I'm not bothered about Garrosh here, though. I think as a tank here, you want to have a bit more poke. I think something to scout bushes with, for example, that's not your 8-second stun cooldown. I think, anyway.
I mean, yes, but on the other hand, if you're fast in a rotation and you're first in the bush, if someone runs into you, you can just throw taunt him and kill them. So it do be also a decent pick if you play it correctly.
So it's like reliant on face checking. Oh, there we go. That's what I'm hoping to see. Nice Stukov first pick. Show some dominance. I love it.
This would leave Rhaegar, Anduin, and Bright Wing open for AFK for Coco if they want to go for them, or one of
I
them.
wouldn't mind a Rhaegar pickup here as well, because the camps are still very important on this map. She can get some more pressure during those objectives, but they go for the Anduin Sylvanas instead, leaving Hanzo, which is surprising because I've always understood that he's pretty good on this map with the small corridors.
Yeah, especially on this map, and as Poppin is one of the people who enjoys playing Dragon Strike, I would see him especially on this map, as there are a lot of corridors where people have to go through.
That's an interesting priority on Greymane right there, I would say. I don't expect that AFK for Coco would have picked or banned that, and now you've shown a damage dealer that could potentially wreck a tank pick later on. So strange priority on the Greymane, but maybe they just really wanted to pick that up now.
Yeah, he's still good at sieging buildings, taking down those bosses, which are pretty important to take in time, so you have them available at a later time, which is kind of weird now I'm saying it, but that's what you're supposed to do here.
Also, you have Sonya with you as well, so you already have two very aggressive hero. You have another aggressive hero who joins you when walking in aggressively, and you probably will also get something along the lines of a Diablo, Tyrell, maybe even for the tank spots. So you get even more dive from your side. So I do like the Greymane, and I think it's a good pick for the map overall as well.
I agree, and now that you've said it, I think that Tyrael call is actually pretty good. I would expect to see that Tyrael now, and you can steal bosses with Holy Ground if you so desire. With two of them, it's a good option to do it.
Oh, that's the most beefy front line I've ever seen. No, not really, but it's a beefy front line. I mean, the Garrosh and the Blaze. So having a Tyrael into that, I'm not sold on it just yet. And they have to pick it now, so.
But is the beef gonna get a little bit taken out? Oh, there you go.
Area of it. I'm still not sold on this one.
It's also paired up with a Maiev, which is the interesting part, because she also jumps in and dives with you. So you.
This is very. We're gonna dive you and we're gonna kill you real quick, or we are all going to die. So please, God help us.
But AFK for Cocoa, they have Garrosh, they have Blaze, they have two very, very strong tools against it. I'm doing probably not going bubble into Stukov, so I'm not expecting that.
I wasn't expecting that final pick, but let's see how that one pans out, because I love seeing me some Kira.
I like what's going on here, and when you look at the compositions, I would say that Tysk Effektivitet have what I would consider to be a powerhouse, where you would just Warden's Cage someone, or maybe all five of them, put the silencing arm under them and absolutely run them down. But you have the bunker, so when you see that Warden's Cage, if you're blazed, you just press R and negate 100-second cooldown.
And even besides the Blaze, they also have Into the Fray, so even the Maiev pull, just a pull from Maiev do be dangerous, but there's still tools to help you out. And Anduin, of course, also has his ally pull. So there's a lot of tools for AFK for Cocoa to save them from those moments where Maiev goes in aggressive or someone else goes in very aggressive for the side of Tysk. But we will see how it goes as we're going into game number 3. The potential last map, take it away, Kastrensky.
Yeah, both teams very melee happy, so ought to be a good one. Anyway, on the left side, fighting for their tournament life because they need to win or they will lose. Wisdom here. It's Tysk Effektivitet with classics playing Tyrael, Buza on Greymane, Kisua on Maiev, Zwutzi on Sonya, and Vestergaard on Stukov.
And in the right-hand side, in red, we have AFK for Coco looking to take the grand finals in their own hands, with Proximo playing Blaze, Yimek playing Garrosh, Beanfish playing Anduin, Poppin' Fresh is on Sylvanas, and Kira is being played by Linux.
Call out some interesting talents. Stackies on Kira. And we have Reactive Ballista Spore, not Low Blow, on the Stukov.
Yeah, I'm not a healer player, but I do have a Smurf where I've recently been practicing healers, and Low Blow has netted me, I want to say, 8 kills, maybe 9 kills in about 3 games. So I love low blow, man. That's such a good talent. But reactive ballista spores also not bad. I do see this picked up by, let's say, better Stukov
Gank on the
players than
top
me.
lane, maybe onto the Blaze, and the drag from the Mayav misses, so that doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, Proximo under his towers there. I think Blaze playing it a bit safe, but nice attempt there. I like it from Tysk.
Yeah, just showing the enemy team like, peekaboo, we're here. Don't feel too comfortable where you're at.
Exactly. It's like showing a little bit of dominance. We're going to be where you don't expect us to be.
Yep. But now every team is where I expect them to be, which is doing their bottom lane mercenary camps, because that's the lane where the first tribute will be spawning.
Absolutely, it's good stuff, and I think I like that because the thing is with the bruiser camp in mid, you can take that early no matter what, and you can really push in with it, especially if you are AFK for Coco and you have the Sylvanas, but they've opted not to do that. So I think there should be some push from the blue team in mid right now with this camp, but they're opting not to do it, just getting value elsewhere. But the one thing, as you mentioned for sure, is that there will be 2 camps in different lanes, so the tribute at about the 3-minute mark.
Yes. Well, the red team now doing their own mercenary camp. Well, the blue team is able to crash that mercenary camp into the lane, but Sonya's leaving because she doesn't want to stay around that garage, feeling a little bit too intimidated and needing to soak the top lane. That's also a reason.
Yeah, that is true. The one thing you don't want to do is get yourself thrown over a wall early game and, just in time for the tribute. Play it a bit safe, I suppose. If you're not going to commit 3 or 4 people to that push with the bruiser camp, then you may as well not commit anyone, I think.
We have another mercenary queen, so maybe they will send this Sylvanas into the mid lane to push this mercenary camp in, they said, as Sylvanas leaves that mercenary camp alone, and now I'm not sure why she picks the mercenary queen. But the red team is already set up around this tribute, and Tyrael is looking to see where the enemy's at. And, well, he found them, but he keeps himself safe and sound. So maybe the blue team can still contest this, or maybe they just don't care because it's the first tribute and you need 3 of them to matter at all.
Indeed. It could be that they just want to stall it a little bit and let some push top, but it looks like the stall wasn't quite there, so the top is going to get taken out by Blaze when he rotates up there. But first tribute going over to AFK for Coco. I don't think anyone's too bothered by that. It was quite central.
Yep. Well, the blue team doesn't... Like, their stalling tools are Tyrael's sword, I guess Mayav Shadow?
Yeah, I saw Maiev stall one. She went in to get the fan of knives, but it was a nice route from Anduin to stop her from getting any further. So yeah, you don't have the greatest stalling, but then again, neither did AFK for Coco really. So maybe macro play is a bit limited in the fact that we don't have the ability to stall tributes.
Yep. Like we said earlier, it's fairly melee focused teams, both of them. So...
Oh, look at top lane.
Yep.
Oh no, Boozer's not stepping out. Boozer knows.
Boozer is... No, Blaze shows it off. Blaze absolutely telegraphs there that my whole team's here, so I want you in front of that gate. But it didn't work out that way.
I like that. Both teams playing safe there. Blaze, the hunted earlier, becomes the hunter, but nothing comes of it for any team. With almost 5 minutes in and 0 kills.
Yeah, both teams playing it very, very carefully. The blue team because their tournament lives on the line, and the red team because the tournament victory's on the line. Whatever. Fights happening. Greymane is able to press his Dark Flight to go on to Kira, but the entirety of the red team still fairly alive. And now, well, the stalling begins. Neither team having a mercenary camp anywhere on the map, so that's not providing any value whatsoever. The red team's just stalling. Red team is a little bit closer to level 10, so maybe they're waiting for that.
I think that would be a very long time to wait. I suspect no one's wanting to make a move, really.
I don't know.
It was a good thought, though, and you are technically correct, so I can't argue with that.
the best kind of correct is technically correct. Ooh, Garrosh might be in a little bit of trouble, but he gets pulled out by the Anduin. And now look at that melee posture of both teams. Fan of Knives getting reset after reset after reset. Blaze is dropping very low, will be the first to fall. Now Sonya might be in a little bit of trouble, but does get assisted by her team. Oh, God, the damage onto Sonya, but she is able to spin out and stay alive. Oh, the silence interrupted the spinny of the Kira, and Kira is getting body blocked by the Sonya right now, but Sonya is very low on HP, so not able to stay there. Now Greymane jumping in onto the Sylvanas, but it looks like that will be the end of the fight with only 1 kill in the end.
That is magnificent, is it not? That all of those things just happened, and there was only 1 kill. How? Again, how?
Yeah, well, the red team is doing their boss at this time, and the blue team has just started. I think the blue team does have a little bit better boss clear with that Greymane, but the blue team has a little bit better boss clear. But the red team started it earlier, so they will be taking it, well, right at around the same time, because the blue team's just quicker.
Yeah, and it's also that level 7 talent from Tyrael as well, the Swift Retribution, giving Greymane that 25% extra attack speed. That's really good for boss clear.
Very nice, and the blue team opts to not even go for the tribute, and it's just like, well, we were faster at this boss clear, so we're probably faster at killing buildings as well, so GLHF and all that.
I mean, they're just running it down. The boss is on 80% HP. I think you go for the keep wall here, and they're doing it.
That decision though, because
You don't think so?
I mean, they're doing it, but I'm not sure if that's the correct decision. They do have that vision point, so that gives them the chance to walk away from that engagement by the red team.
In that case, I'm not sure about that trade, because the top boss is getting the top 4, and you let AFK for Coco get the tribute as well. So it looked good, and I think if you're going to be that aggressive, you want to get more than your opponent gets, and unfortunately, they did not. So I'm not sure about the trade there.
I mean, they did get the tower.
It's-
Oh, fight happening around the blue tide bruiser camp. Blue team knows that the red team's there, and Sonya isn't there, so they're not able to step up, and the red team now is able to steal that bruiser camp away. I'm not sure why Sonya was in the top lane there. Getting some more soak, perhaps?
Yeah, they've got a bit of an XP advantage, so they don't need to necessarily be there, but if you want to keep on top of the XP advantage, you do kind of have to. But look at this decision. They are giving the curse over to AFK for Coco, and they're just accepting it.
Kinda have to, because it is on the side of the tribute did spawn on the red side. It is in the open position, not on the closed position, so it is assaultable, but you're mostly melee, which makes it kind of dangerous. And just getting this curse out of the way, because it will happen at some point, might be a decision. Like, give it early, maybe lose a single fort in the bottom lane, and then that's it.
Well, the containment disc comes out but misses. It's not the Warden's Cage as I thought. Zwutzi's getting engaged upon by Linux here. There's the revolving strike coming in. Kira trying to do some work. Light bomb comes out. It's Tyrael who gets stunned, but the massive damage comes out onto Stukov, and Stukov goes down. Bunker's there for a bit of extra protection. Proximo gets thrown in, but is not going to get any more kills. Classics is trying to get Zwutzi out of trouble, but it's not going to matter. Zwutzi goes down, and now the blue team have lost 2 members, and the curse is going to get some value.
Yep. Well, that's the end of this mid lane. Oh, will they get more kills? Oh, throwing the Tyrael, but he already got his sword out, so they will not get a kill on that. Yep, all forts down on the side of the blue team, so that is unfortunate, but you can still win the game with that.
Of course, it's never over until the core is down. I can't help but feel that it wasn't a right decision to give the tribute over, because your boss took down the bot fort earlier. So yes, you are fighting on the red hand side, but they don't have a fallback point below them, so it's not necessarily the worst decision to go. You fighting in pure jungle. I think it could have been done, but obviously I'm not playing the game, and I am I'm still just a low diamond player, so I don't know the best things to do, but that would be my decision.
Yeah, I mean, I would have agreed on them going down, but I totally get why they wouldn't want to go there. So
Indeed, yeah, I can see both sides of it.
Yep. Well, let's see how they will claw themselves back into the game, or claw themselves back. They're just down a few buildings. They're still ahead in experience. So everything's fine in the world.
Indeed. I mean, the passive XP that comes in will slowly bring AFK for Coco back up to level, but getting that fort down early in bot lane, it's always a good thing, and you do still have a 1 tribute lead, so there are still plenty of promising signs for Tysk here.
Yes, for sure. Let's see, mercenaries being done. Other than that, tanks are scouting, DPS are... I'm not sure what Greymane's doing, but he's fine. He's fine for now.
He thinks he's Lily, he's just going on an adventure.
Yeah. Oh, my No, they find Tyrael. Tyrael being thrown without being able to press out his sword. Oh, nice 3-man leap into Sanctification, and Garrosh is absolutely destroyed, as is the Kira. Can they get more? Yes, Anduin also going down now, surrounding the Sylvanas. Will they take Sylvanas? Will they get 4? They will get 4. Can they make it 5? Do I hear 5? Blaze is standing his ground. I'm not sure about that one. Doing bunker, but that doesn't really help too much. And jet propulsion gets him to safety. So that's a 4-4-0 for Tysk Effektivitet.
Massive, absolutely gigantinormous there. The engage onto Tyrael was...
the boss on the top.
Exactly. This is what you can do with 4 people dead on the red side. The tribute is right next to the boss. It's so convenient for you. You get that counter, you get 4 kills, you assert dominance, and you take the red side boss. But they're coming for it. Can they get there in time? No. Is there going to be a fight though?
Well, it is a fight without the Sylvanas there, so I'm not sure if that's a fight the red team wants to take, and the blue team knows that and tries to engage very hard, but the Anduin pulling his front line to safety for now.
Yeah, this is the benefit of having the Anduin. If anyone is in danger, just pull them out and don't risk any silly deaths. I love it though. The engage onto Tyrael, not quite there, and then Tysk showing up in game number 3 and getting 4 counter kills with what was, quite frankly, an epic dive. That's what we saw was going to happen with the Greymane, with the Maiev, with the Leap, with the Tyrael. They can do that epic dive, and it is working for them. If they can do that just 1 or 2 more times before this tribute, it could be a very, very close game.
Now the question is, will they be in time for this tribute? Because they are in the bottom lane boss. I'm not too sure if they should go. Oh, they know that the red team's there, so instead they will escort this boss into that keep wall. That might be A, dangerous, but B, if this works out, that would pull them ahead massively into this game.
Very much so, and you do have those tools to fall back on. The Sanctification is back. You do have the Leap and the Containment Disc and the Flailing Swipe to get out of there if there's any danger. It's going to be big.
No,
I think
Stukov is being thrown over the wall. That's not the bush to check, but they can't get... No, they can't get the Garrosh. That's unfortunate. I'm not sure why Tyrael wasn't in that bush, and Stukov decided to check that. Well, they're still fighting, but the Sanctification keeps most of the blue members safe. They are still fighting under this boss, so the red team has to be careful for random stuns, and they do get this keep, so I do think this was worth it in the end, but they will lose the 2nd tribute in a row.
Oh, for sure, no doubt.
Tyrael, don't look back there. Ooh, he has movement speed. Okay,
Is he okay? I don't want to look.
he's fine.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, he's fine. All the members on the blue side are fine for now.
It's good though. I like what they've done. I like the fact that they got the keep, and even yes, there was Vestergaard getting thrown in an unfortunate position, but they still got the keep, and that is going to be an extra 20% passive rolling XP and triple catapult pressure. So it's a good trade. And speaking of trades, it looks like there's just going to be some camps taken. The red team thinking about going in for it, but they're not there in time. And by the way, 2 tributes apiece, and it's in the middle. This could be big.
Neutral position. Yep. Well, the red team does have that fort still there, so that's an advantage for the red team. Maybe the blue team can take that down before it happens because of that pressure in the bot lane. That's the thing. That's an advantage for the blue team because it is in the top lane. Oh, fight happening. That's a nice double stun by the Blaze. Tyrael is being locked down, is being taunted, and is absolutely destroyed. That's not what you want to happen right now, right before the tribute is announced.
No, that's so unfortunate, and I think they got into position early, which obviously you want to do sometimes, but it was a little bit too early because Sanctification was on a 10-second cooldown still. It was never going to be ready, and luckily for the red team, they managed to get in there just before Sanct came up, and now this tribute will absolutely go over to AFK for Coco, and therefore the second curse of the game.
Yeah. Blue team is trying to pull their attention into the bot lane, but that's never going to happen because this curse is so powerful and will de-push that lane on its own.
It will do, but the thing is, because of how close it is to the enemy core, bot lane does not need to be looked at for the next minute. So the offensive is going to be in mid and top. One of these keeps will go down, I suspect. Two of them, perhaps. We have to see what goes on. Neither team is going to be level 20 though.
Ooh, Blaze Stun misses, and look at that damage that is being put into him while he misses his jet propulsion.
That's cursed bullet value. It just absolutely chunked him, and then the follow-up was perfect. Oh, that's a stun.
So close to level 20. Initiation onto Sonya. Sonya uses Leap. It's not very effective because it absolutely missed everyone. And once again, jet propulsion doing the same thing, getting absolutely chunked once again. And now, Sylvanas went in very aggressive, and it looks like this mid keep is going to fall, as is the top keep, most likely. The team is trying to keep it safe.
That's good. That's good.
Will fall shortly.
The thing is, like, you still have the fort and top lane as you are the red team, so you do still have catapult pressure going through top lane, and that will eventually take it down, but it looks like the focus is going to be on this boss. I think this is risky. You're not level 20 and the blue team is, and they know this. This could be big.
Yeah, indeed. Fight happening, and Blaze absolutely destroyed. Can they get more? They want this boss. They need this boss. They need this boss to happen. Sonya is still interrupting the front line. There is silence onto the Sylvanas. Look at that spin, dealing lots of damage, and I think they just ignore this boss and go for core right now.
Oh, that is game. Yep.
Kill the Anduin and
don't even go through bot lane. Just smash open the sidewall and go through. Or just use the spear to get to the camp and do it that way.
and wait for the rest of your team. Yeah. That took a solid 15 seconds. I don't think it will matter, but they could have just smashed that top side wall and went for it earlier. But they do show sign of life, and they do take game number 3. So we're in for a series.
Oh, absolutely. I'm looking forward to this. And that is the spark that we were hoping for. A 5-man team wipe at the end of that game. It was so, I want to say, risky for AFK for Coco to go for that boss, but they figured they could. I think maybe they didn't realize that Tysk was so far forward on the map, and that's how they thought they could get away with it. But good stuff from Tysk Effektivitet, bringing it back to 3-1. We've got game number 4 coming next.
Yeah, especially with the boss hitting FK for Cocoa there, it split them up. We did see that Blaze and Sylvanas was more to the top left side, while the other 3 members were more to the bottom right side, and therefore Tysk was just able to focus the Blaze and actually got the first kill there, and from there on FK for Cocoa just had to run, and Sonya got a big leap onto 2 members and was therefore able to just lock them down and finish the kill.
Indeed, and I think that was the downfall, actually, was having Blaze anchor where he was. Because you know that the bunker was used to take down mid-keep earlier, so you know he doesn't have a bunker. So having him anchor where the blue team is coming from, I think that was a big mistake.
Yeah, they also walked right around the garage. I don't think the garage ever saw them come in. So there's that overall. A little bit unfortunate.
But it does make it exciting, and I'm all about the exciting.
Let's go.
Yeah, it was very well done by the side of AFK for Cocoa for most of the game. They got very good CC chains onto most members, but there's this one button called Sanctification which completely denies that, and countered like 2 or 3 hero ultimates going like into literally nothing because everyone was just standing inside of Sanctification, and therefore very well done there by Classics on the turtle, just having the Sanct there for his team. And I think he only got caught out like once or maybe twice, where he just got locked down and was unable to press any buttons to save his team.
But because the teams were so melee focused and we're all fighting at like around the same point, just plopping down that sanctification keeps the entire team safe. Well, the enemy team can just run away because they're all in melee range.
Indeed, and they're also getting pulled in by Ural, or Sony just leaps on top of them. So that's also another nice tool we did see there. But let's see who will we go to for the next map.
Yep.
As we do have FK for Cocoa going for the first pick this time, so Tysk is going to pick the map, and we do still have Alterac Pass, Tomb of Spider Queen, and Towers of Doom left open.
I love all three of these maps actually. I love playing them and I love casting them, so no matter what happens, I'm a happy boy for the next at least 1 or 2 games.
I am hoping for an Alterac Pass first.
I have a Towers of Doom feeling.
In that case, I'll vote for Tomb of the Spider Queen.
What? No, well, who knows? Who knows?
Well, we know now.
Yeah, we sure know. I like that map as a final map more. Like 5th game of the series on this map.
Claw shots down to 1-1.
Oh, let's go!
Towers of Doom. Indeed, Towers of Doom map number 4. As you mentioned, usually very nice map number 5, but also a very, very popular map over a lot of players, as it's really hard to end the game if you don't make a mistake on the map, or to lose the game if you don't make a mistake. If you don't lose any altars, you can't lose the game.
That kind of defines Heroes of the Storm, right? If you never make a mistake, it's very hard to lose the game.
That kind of defines life in general.
well, you know. Anyway, let's see. Can we get more fireworks? Because I absolutely loved that previous game on. What was that map again? Cursed Hollow. There we go. I know my maps. It was absolutely fight after fight after fight.
And the best part about it is we've seen these themes in this entire series recurring, where somebody or multiple people get away on so little HP, and it happened again and again, even on this game. It's so close the whole series, but I think it's going to go Game 5. I've got a suspicion it's going Game 5, and then we're going to get a Sergeant Hammer pick on Alterac Pass.
Well, no, you just got Sergeant Hammer over here and just shell away at your bot lane, set up, get the enemy bell tower, and then set your Sergeant Hammer over there. Just never leave.
Yes, let's have that. I want that.
I love how it just changed to like, we want hammer and we're mad that we don't get hammer.
I don't want to influence the teams, but Sergeant Hammer.
No, we definitely don't influence them, it's fine. Hammer!
Of course not.
Hammer! What?
The first question that we're going to ask. So, how do you feel about your victory, and why did you never pick Sergeant Hammer?
Genuinely, right. Like, I saw in the last series that there was a winner's interview. I am going to ask about Sergeant Hammer if there is an interview.
We hope that there is one.
What the obsession is with Sergeant Hammer today. I personally don't really know. I'm just going with the flow, but I'm sure Castro and Samu can explain.
Hammer did get buffed in the recent patch, and now she's actually very flexibly good. You make noise. You make noise.
Very flexibly good. That's so.
She's got so strong that like she has the same thing which Rhaegar has, just people didn't like realize it yet, that she's generally very strong, and especially in the moments where she shines, she's unbeatable. But she's overall a very good hero now.
Again, I find a lot of heroes in the moment they shine, they look unbeatable. Yeah, that's Tyrell with her shield up, or fucking Tyrell with sanctification. When they shine, they're unbeatable.
All right, we have an insider now in chat, guys. So don't tell FK for Cocoas who's he telling us. that one of them practiced a little hammer, but they probably won't pick it in finals.
No, please, they have to. I need this right now.
But maybe AFK for Cocoa will, you know?
Is that going to be the next poll that we do instead of who's going to win this game? Will we see Sergeant Hammer?
Who's picking hammer? Maybe. Right. But it seems that we have the teams ready. Yes, both teams are ready. Let's jump into the next map, into map number 4.
Potentially the final map of the series, or potentially the stepping stone to an amazing game number 5.
Indeed.
Whichever one of those two it is, I think it's going to be a cracker. These two teams have put on a really good show for us today, and I am really excited to see how it ends. I don't want it to end, but at some point it's going to. But in Towers of Doom, what do you think the ban patterns are going to be? Is it going to be identical? Because this is the first time I think AFK for Coco have had first pick, right? So is there going to be a shift in what we ban here?
According to Discord, they are contractually obligated to ban out Joanna and Anubarak on the Tysk Effektivitet side. So, well, there you have it.
I mean,
fantastic.
Especially with AFK for Koa having a high priority onto Anub and Johanna teams, I would assume that they will try to pick one of them up. And we immediately the first swap is they are banning out the Dehaka because there's other heroes they rather want to first pick, and then they don't want to give Dehaka over to Tysk.
Once again, the definition of a first ban. Usually don't want to pick the heroes that you ban out. Anyway, so let's see if they will follow their contracts or if they will deviate and instead go for their banning pattern of Falsta into whatever hero they played the previous game.
There's the Johanna ban from Tysk. Let's see if they also ban Anub as second ban, but AFK also just swapping bans for now. But let's see what they go for. Ban number 2.
Yep. Lilith Eden asks why one caster is so much louder. I don't know.
You can probably blame that on me, I guess.
Wait, which one of us is it though?
I don't know, because we don't show our faces, so it's probably hard to put a voice. We're not talking faces, so you can't distinguish. No, Lilith has been in my stream. She should know my voice by heart by now.
I used to be on Lilith's team, so I think she knows my voice as well.
Hold on.
Hi, I'm the third guy. But yeah, in the meantime, we do see this Stukov ban coming out from FK for Cocoa, and Tysk going with Anub, so not giving either of them towards FK for Cocoa.
So what's the pick then? Is it going to be Rega? Is it going to be like multi-lane soak, or is it? Well, there you go.
Oh, well, yeah, that one right there.
Did you watch the Division 5 Grand Final where Lunara was in every single game? It seems like it's Sylvanas this time who's just in every single game.
But so far, Sylvanas has been in every single game, and Antwin has been as well, I think. Ooh, that's an early offlane pick for the side of Tysk.
I mean, Leoric is overall a pretty good hero, pretty good offlaner for Towers of Doom. He is good at double soaking. He also brings in a very strong late game tool with the Entomb, and especially the Silence Entomb at level 20, a very strong team fight tool. And there's not too many counters except for one who is just now getting picked up by FK for Coco, being Malthel.
I love it!
Just pick Vikings into him. Let's go. But they decide to go for Malthel instead, and that Falstad was not banned. So
I love it so much. I basically like Malthale is my favorite hero in the game. This is his best map. He destroys Leoric in that multi-lane rotation. John Brannon has picked a winner here, and I can't wait to see that in action.
Well, we will see how that happens. Garrosh banned out. Don't want to deal with that.
I have to say,
Totally agree.
something seems sus. Castro is happy, and it's not because Hammer's got picked.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Hammer. Pick Hammer!
He found the imposter.
Yeah, especially AFK for Coco, they have already Sylvanas posted and Malfoy, so it's rather unlikely for them to pick up the Hammer as tank or heal spot.
Malfoy main tank.
The Ming.
Hammer in the off lane. Oh, wait, what? Hammer is a tank. What am I talking about? Hammer main tank.
I think it's an interesting draft though, leaving your tank and your healer to the end. It's just something you don't see often.
I don't mind leaving the tank to the end. The healer, I'm not sure about that one.
We did see yesterday the healers for Division 7 finals being left to the last pick, and then we suddenly had Alex Raza Whiteman coming out.
Well, they did get buffed.
Yeah, but now let's have look at Tysk as they pick up Cassia and Jungler. It's also two very nice heroes.
Yeah,
4,000
very
of them.
strong still. Can hold his own on a lane if he ever has to. Can veer off and soak the mid lane for a bit. Cassia still deals a lot of damage. I wonder if we're going to see the auto attack build as that has been buffed as well.
You could very well do. You want to poke ETC, right? I don't know what the range of the auto attack build is. I think it's lower than usual. But if you can poke away at ETC quite effectively with it, you could still see it. But I suspect maybe it will probably still just be the Q. I expect, anyway.
It's shorter than most range assassins. In a level 13 you can increase your range by 2 and then it's longer than most assassins.
First it's shorter and then it's longer, but for the last pick we're gonna have Diablo, whose health bar is at first shorter than ours, but then it gets longer the more souls you get.
Yeah, and then Malfoy comes in and he absolutely destroys... well, maybe. We'll see.
What do you pick at level 1 here if you're Diablo though? Because the percent damage... I mean, Malthael's damage comes from his soul rip, but Sylvanas is like a flexible damage, maybe a bit magey, and Falstad the same. So would you just go safe and take Devil's Due or something if you're Diablo here?
I would.
You said words and I don't understand those words because I'm not a tank player.
I would wait and see what Sylvanas is picking. Sylvanas goes for percentage damage on 1, and also goes for a build. It's hard to say, but I think you should rather go the healing on stuns. But let's see how it goes as we jump into game number 4.
Yep, I can't wait to see how this one pans out as well. Still, they're fighting for their 2-note life. Still, they're blue. And still, they're Tysk. They're Tysk. With Buza playing Junkrat and Classics playing Diablo. Vestergaard on Anduin. Kyusa on the Yorick and Brutus playing Cassia.
And on the right hand side in red, it's AFK for Coco for the 4th time with the John Brannan, who I believe has replaced Switzy for this game, playing Malthael. Poppin Fresh is on Sylvanas, Linux playing Falstad, Yemek is on ETC, and Beanfish is playing Rhaegar Earth Fury.
Apparently my volume is the lowest. I need to check that a bit. It's auto attack on Falstad, which is interesting, and not percentage damage on the Sylvanas.
Probably still Merc Queen at 4 though, right? Especially on this map.
I hope not. Ooh, initiation onto the cow, but is able to jump out. That's a nice bit of aggression coming out of Tysk.
Yeah, it's a good start. I think, especially now that Malthael has gone top and has sort of eked out a few of those globes. I think Leoric only gets a couple of 25%ers there, so Malthael's ahead, but Yemek is getting a bit engaged upon by Classics here. Is going to be just fine. And thus begins the Towers of Doom experience, where everyone is going to do camps and head bot lane, I expect.
Yep. Well, blue team started their camp, red team also started their camp, so... Yep, that's true. And Anduin has to help out a bit for Leoric, because Malthael is just so much faster on his pill card, hoverboard thing. That extra movement speed does help out quite a bit, but the blue team wanting to invade on the right side mercenary camp, and I'm not sure that you want to go for an invade this early. And they got slapped away.
Yeah, Diablo, not so tanky when you only have one soul. So you might want to relax a little bit on those engages until you're a little bit more healthy. But I have no doubts it's a nice max range power slide from ETC, but it doesn't yield much. But yeah, Diablo maybe going to need to be a little bit more careful, especially now that he has that Feast on Fear at level 1. So relying on stunning his enemy to get health back. It's an interesting choice. I'm not against it, but we'll see how it works out for him.
Okay, well, let's see how that works out for them. And they are still going aggressive. Maybe they can get a kill onto this ETC, because ETC is not the most tanky of heroes, able to slide beneath the blue heroes and able to walk it off with like 10% HP remaining.
Yeah, it's very close, and honestly, I feel like it's been about 1 minute, but it's been 2.5, and the altars are coming up very soon. So we're going to see some rotations, probably some mana getting picked up by the tank here. ETC is quite low for this. I expected him to back, but he's not gone for it. So maybe just tap and engage, but I don't know what the blue team's tap looks like. Either way, we're going to have 2 altars traded and a big fight in bot for this one.
Well, will we see a trade? Because Malthael has been playing very aggressive onto this Leoric. So he might even go aggressive onto this shrine. And it looks like we will. And the red team is also aggressive in the bottom lane. So going for the triple cap maybe. Who knows? Oh, fight still happening in the bot lane. Let's see, blue team dropping very low, while the red team is still looking very healthy, but they are able to get sort of an isolation onto the Rhaegar, but Rhaegar dropping in that wolf form, getting the extra movement speed, able to mount in combat is such a cheat. Mount, quote unquote.
It is a nice feature to have, isn't it? And I'm actually really surprised that no one on the blue team died there. Classics has gotten a lot of health back, managing to hide in the bush. The altar in the top left does get taken. It is smashed by Malthael. Leoric couldn't quite handle that. And now I expect Malthael to get top right. So at least 8 shots going in for the red team here. So that means Tysk really want to get this altar. As ETC goes in for a big power slide, Brutus is getting a little bit isolated, but is absolutely fine. Diablo comes in, smashes Poppin' Fresh against the wall and gets the first blood for the blue team there. Beanfish is a little bit isolated, but I don't think Shadow charges up. So it looks like the red team are going to back out, and we trade 2 altars for 1 in a rather explosive first altar phase in Towers of Doom, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, you don't usually see it, that both the top 2 altars are taken by one team and the bottom altar by a second team, but Malthael was just such a dominating force into this Leoric. Out-soaking, out-damaging, and all that. But Malthael doesn't have Silence and Tomb at level 20.
No, this is the thing, and Towers of Doom usually goes to level 20, so you are kind of banking on being able to get that Buried Alive for Leoric, which will be huge. But Malthael's level 4 talent, his Die Alone, that's what lets him bully Leoric like this, managing to just do 50% more damage on the ability that already does a lot of damage is massive against Leoric, and that's the bully factor that Malthael gives you on this map.
Yep, for sure. Well, Leoric just tries to ignore the Malthael. Well, he's soaking, and it does work out for him so far. He hasn't died. He might die now if he isn't careful.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
He's still alive! The rest of his team wasn't really interested in rotating over, so they can't get a return, quote-unquote, kill. Because slide onto Diablo. Diablo might be in trouble, able to shadow charge onto the tank and make his way out.
Yeah, it's a good shadow charge, being able to pop it at just the right angle to get yourself out of the good stuff from Classics.
Yeah, single altar, and the 5 red heroes are already here. You might even give this one as the blue team. Just poke it a bit with Junkrat bombs and keep on soaking with the Leoric to get at level 10 a little bit earlier.
Yeah, Leoric's heading up top lane, you can see that on the minimap, and they've just said, we know our composition is not that strong until we get level 10, so we're just going to get that Riptide, we're going to get that APOC, we're going to get that Light Bomb combo, and then we'll see what happens. But for now, we're okay being 8 core shots down, because there's a long way to go yet.
Will we get APOC or will we get Lightning Breath for the Entomb combo?
It's AFK. It was a good thought, though. I see where you're going with it. But I think the combination of being able to Apocalypse and then follow up with Light Bomb, I think that's quite strong. But then again, Lightning Breath also helps you get Light Bomb on them as well. So, yeah, okay, fair enough. I can see both.
And it makes you unstoppable, so you won't be affected by Gust on the late game boss 4 versus 4 core point stuff.
Oh. Very true. We did predict, or at least I predicted this was going to go to 1-1. So, yeah.
Who knows? Initiation onto Diablo. Diablo being brought down low, but is able to charge out once again. Leoric is here as well. No, it's just mounting in. Hello guys, I'm here. Okay, bye. So,
just having that team fight presence, having your body there and available to sort of threaten the enemy, right?
Yeah, I'm not too sure he wants to go in right now because they're. Oh, wait to see.
Oh,
no, he was. If he was dropped over the wall there, that would have been amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, blue team going aggressive again. They're a little bit late, but they can get an Entomb out.
Oh no!
But they did not have the Ghost Walk, Wraith Walk to get that unstoppable and keep Sylvanas in there.
Oh, it was so unfortunate. The Apocalypse and the Entomb were perfect, and then unfortunately, I think Classics overpowered Sylvanas out of the APOC.
Oh, yeah, that's not what you want to happen there.
It's unfortunate, but it is a double altar phase. The first one has been taken, and that goes red. And now without the heroics, I think the blue team might be in a bit of trouble to take this one. And you don't necessarily need it, but you're going to be a lot of core shots behind if you don't win this. ETC goes in and gets a nice knockback, and Brutus is going very far with that, and I think Malthael is going to pop the last rights, and I can't see Cassia starting to do this. The Mosh Pit keeping Boozer and Vestergaard occupied, and then it's actually a 1-for-1 trade. Cassia takes out Malthael, Malthael takes out Cassia. There's a big Entomb, popping Fresh is out just outside of it. Beanfish goes down, Classics goes in for the Shadow Charge Rangers to overpower Yemek, but there is no more dice there, and somehow with only one heroic on the table, it looks like Tysk Effektivitet are going to pick up this altar, trading this altar phase 1-for-1.
Yep, for sure. Last right wasn't even being able to be pressed in that fight. Not sure why that didn't happen, but that kept the Cassia alive and able to kill the Malthael first. And that's a 1-for-1 exchange for the altar, and they do take it away in the end.
Yeah, you can't complain about that. And if anything, it's obviously a good trade for Tysk, because not letting Malthael get a stack of Last Rites. By the way, why is Last Rites on a 60-second cooldown? What have I just missed? I think Malthael may have just tried to Last Rite Cusa and not gotten it.
Oh, okay, yeah. That must have happened. I totally missed that. That might happen a lot more because, you know, they keep on... The Malthael keeps on harassing that Leoric, and Leoric can't really do much about that, and then you fight her off a last right, and if Leoric is able to heal up a little bit more using that right that he has, Ocean's Renewal, not right, getting out of range, maybe.
Indeed. It's a rough trade for Leoric, but to be honest, I do think Kisua, is doing a good job against John Brannon so far.
Yeah, he's out-soaking the Malthael by 3,000, so that's a good job so far on that Leoric.
Single altar phase coming in now, though. Leoric does have top priority and is coming down, so I do think we'll see a 5 versus 5 for this single altar. I don't know what's going to happen. All heroics are ready to be used. Could be an explosive fight coming in now.
Yeah, and both teams are level 13, so ready for the fight. Leoric is a little bit caught out, not really what you want. Last right is used, and absolutely ineffective against Leoric, who got healed up. Gust trying to keep the Sylvanas safe. Sylvanas, that Apocalypse combo missed again, I think. Light Bomb onto Anduin himself, trying to walk in, but got booped away by the cow. But they were able to boop the Falsta into the middle of the blue team. Now Falsta using his bird, trying to fly away, but got caught out in the end. And this altar going over to Tysk, making the score almost equal with 24-28.
Yeah, massive there. Actually, I was a bit worried when Leoric went in, but managing to get out of there, just find the last rights negated by the amount of heals and the Osset and Renewal coming out there and doing a great job. And then at the Entomb, it did trap Sylvanas, but I think it did miss. The Gust was very good, but not quite enough. What I did enjoy though was YMX face melts, knocking away the light bomb target so no one got stunned by that, and that really minimized further casualties. So really good stuff from Tysk Effektivitet, but also a good defense from AFK for Coco after things started going south. It's looking really good now. 4 core shots in it. Love it.
Yeah, once again, 5 red team members going for the invade, but the blue team able to get that capture and just gets out of range of the red team. Might even look for a fight if Leoric joins in, because they are level 16 and, well, the red team isn't.
Yeah, this is where you want to do it, and I think level 16 has some big power spikes. You get the Glyph of Faith for Randuin. Leoric has opted for the Mithril Mason Spectral Leech build, so it is going to do a lot of damage later on, but I guess for now, maybe with that Mithril Mace you want to soak minions instead, but here comes the Riptire. It does nothing. Well,
Yeah,
good idea.
It's not very effective.
It's not the right time to use it, I think, either, like right before the triple altar phase. I'm not sure what the intention was. Maybe they were looking to take an early fight before the altar phase, but unfortunately, I guess it didn't pan out.
And I'm not sure why Leoric is standing AFK in the top lane while they are like a level ahead. The altar phase is popping. You want to try and force a fight on this altar phase, right?
I think you do. I like that he's trying to take the red altar, but you're not going to win that fight versus Malthael. I'm really worried for Leoric as the bot lane fight rages on as well. Or I say rages on, it's a little bit simmering, shall we say.
Well, with those auto attack talents, Leoric does have a fighting chance now into the Malthael. And blue team takes that altar away from the red team, even while the fight's happening.
Malthael's trapped. Malthael's trapped in the top lane. Oh, the Falstad's coming in with the flight though. It looks like Leoric is going to get a little bit outbalanced here. I think he's
on by the Diablo was almost enough to keep the Leoric safe, but I'm not sure. That was very, very greedy again by the blue team.
Yeah, I don't think you needed to go for the top right altar. Maybe just feeling a bit salty after Malthael took the top left one earlier on in the game. But we even up the core shots until this boss gets taken in about 4 seconds. So, and oh, look at the consolation prize in bot lane though. This bot tower actually might get taken by this sapper camp.
Yeah, if they can interrupt the rotation from the red team, then the sapper camp will just crash in freely into this bot lane. And it looks like the red team isn't able to do much about it. Oh, black arrows, black arrows, black arrows. Oh, the last Salazar. And the initiation onto the Diablo. Will he be killed? Will he be saved? And he will be saved by the Anduin. And instead, it's now Beamfish into the Entomb. But the Gust is used to interrupt the Mosh Pit as well. And now ETC might be in a little bit of trouble, able to power slide. But is being held over the shoulder by the Diablo and a lot of CC and more CC onto the Sylvanas. No, that's not Sylvanas, that's Rhaegar. Rhaegar going down as well. Sylvanas walking in the middle of the enemy team and she's dead.
This Diablo is running riot.
Yeah, they're going very, very hard. And even though they're 4 core shots down, if they can take another bell tower out of the hands of the red team, that would be amazing. Before this next altar phase, you want to kill those minions on the left side to get your creep wave in. You want to kill those minions on... Never mind.
There's a lot to do on Towers of Doom. Despite it being a very, let's say, one-dimensional map, there is a lot to do. Now, the problem here is that the top right altar is available. It's coming up in 7 seconds. The red team still have 3 dead. They might be able to get there in time, but it looks like Linux and John Brannon are not interested in contesting this. They're going to allow themselves to go a few core shots down, but it's going to make the end game even harder. It's a big Entomb.
Into the Gust. Do we have Mosh Pit? Do we have Mosh Pit? The Mosh Pit is off of cooldown, and there it is, onto 2. The Diablo has been brought down, as is the Leoric. So that's 2 kills going over to the red team. The Junkrat trying to set up the shrine point to take it, but he's not in time, and it looks like the Anduin will be going down as well.
Yeah, Vestergaard with a really nice pull there, pulling out the right target, not the Leoric, who's going to die anyway. But unfortunately, Vestergaard gets taken out as, I think, 2 sappers going. Is it 2 or 3 sappers going through the bot lane? That does put them on 12 core shots, and they will get the altar. But that does mean that Tysk Effektivitet are still ahead in terms of XP, in terms of core shots, in terms of everything. Really, it's looking good, even though you've just died.
Don't go chain inting again now. That will be not helpful. So Diablo was looking to go in there, Liorg was looking to go in there, and I think that would have been a very, very, very bad plan at the time.
Agreed. My favorite music in the game kicks in. That means level 20 is here for the blue team. Anduin is coming back in 8 seconds. Can use the tunnel to get in. Can you set up a nice, quick 20 versus 19 fight? Let's find out. I think if you can take that and you can get a good hold of the bell towers, I think you put yourself in a good position to win the game. But if you take it and you fail, you're in a really bad spot. The boss is coming up in about a minute and a half, something like that. So it's not on the table yet, but it can be a winning, let's say, game ender if these bell towers go the wrong way.
Yep. The blue team is looking for a fight, but the red team has reached that eluster level 20. So let's see which team. I think with that Silence and Tomb, that could just turn around the entire fight. And the blue team is looking because they know that Malthael is not here. Can they get a kill? Can they get a kill? Come on. Do so. Oh, the Entomb was used a little bit too late, in my opinion.
Oh, that was so good and yet so crazy at the same time. Like, the Hellgate to try and get ETC caught in it was so good, but ETC has his own Bolt of the Storm and manages to get out of the Hellgate. The Entomb comes in, the Gust is just on point, and there's a couple of big cooldowns used there. And yeah, Altaphase coming in. Diablo thinking about going in on Poppin Fresh, who's getting very low. The double stun comes in. The light bomb is there. That's a really nice ancestral healing. The double does not manage to come out. The apocalypse is massive. That is unbelievable. AFK for Coco losing 2 members right as the Altaphase comes in. John Brannon is trying to channel this as quickly as possible. The Junkrat is trying. The Mosh Pit lets John Brannon get the channel. Yes, he's got it. He's got it. So much ability put onto John Brannon, but the channel is there. Really good Mosh Pit from Yimek to allow that channel to go through. Awesome teamwork there from the 3 members of AFK for Coco. And I apologize for the crazy sounds my mouth just made.
I mean, just shouting out the team fight, that's good, right? But they were not, in the time that the 2 blue members were trying to interrupt that shrine, the Mosh Pit was able to kill off the Cassia, so that's unfortunate.
I mean, from what looked like an amazing situation, you know, you get 2 kills against the red team. You should be able to go and get both altars. That, oh no, you've just overpowered him out of the Entomb.
Oh no, leave the boss! Leave the boss! You can! And they leave the boss. As they should.
I mean, it's 9 core shots to 8. And we have like 5 bell towers compared to 3. Diablo might be in a bit of trouble here. That's a greedy overpower. Last Rites comes out, but I don't think that's quite going to hit. That's a good heal coming out from Vestergaard there.
Yeah, and they know that the red team is on this boss, but they don't have the Entomb available, so I don't think that the blue team should be taking that fight. Another nice Mosh Pit, but the ATC is absolutely destroyed. The blue team does get this this boss though. The Infinite Lightning is still going. Can they get a kill? Oh, the Wailing Arrow going out, hitting the Cassia, so she's not able to get a kill, but the Sylvanas has been killed. So this is 2 kills for 1, and there's 2 altar phases spawning. The red team score is at HP. This might be game.
It could be. You've got to hold on to the fact that you still have Buried Alive, you still have Ball Lightning, you don't have Diablo, but do you need it? Just put Leoric in the front, get that massive Entomb, and then put the Ball Lightning on top of it and win the game.
Yeah, the red team trying to go for that bottom lane. Cassia, meanwhile, fighting for that mid one, or channeling that mid one. And let's see how they work this out. There's 4 versus 3. They should be able to win a nice double and
Buried Alive. Huge Buried Alive.
Yep, this is game. Looks like we are going to a game 5.
Oh, baby. I love it. I love it so much.
It's such a good game. Let's get your blood pumping, mate.
Whew, it was so back and forth as well. I think that was the closest game out of all 4 of them so far. That genuinely could have gone anyway.
Like we said, it's not really the rising line then, but Tysk Effektivitet keeps the line high enough to be able to take this game, and well, we have a banger of a series here, friends.
Indeed, game number 4 going over to Tysk is, as you mentioned, this was a game 5 worthy game, even, I have to say.
Yes,
Very...
yes, I'm saying it. Keep Towers of Doom for the final game, because it's most of the time it's epic.
It definitely...
I would say that definitely lived up to the name of epic, to be honest. That was a very, very cool game of Towers of Doom.
Yeah, so Altric Pass now?
Or towards the Spider Queen for map number 5. But for now, we're gonna see if AFK for Cocoa will go for first pick or map pick. I would assume they go for first pick, and then Tysk will be able to choose the map for the last final map.
Yes. Oh, I'm shaking in my chair right now. That might be because I haven't had dinner yet. That's also...
Oh, you need to eat, my friend. I mentioned the snacks earlier. You've got to be prepared. If I had any snacks left over, I'd give them to you, but unfortunately, they are all gone.
No worries. I will survive. Maybe. But for now, we will be waiting with something for the final map pick, which we don't know yet who's picking, actually.
Indeed. I mean, that was always the beauty of back in HGC. You know, every map got played which didn't get banned in a best of 7 if it went down a full line. But now we still have the option between 2 maps, so there's still some strategy involved, and not just there's this one map left. You either go first pick, or you take the map and then have second pick on it.
Yeah, just take the second pick and get your spicy picks on the final map, because we have 2 very different maps, so you have to prepare 2 very different... Never mind, maybe
Hammer.
just go first. Yeah. Yes, Hammer. Hammer last pick.
That's the thing. The problem with first pick is that you can still have your Sergeant Hammer countered by the final pick of the other team. So if you go for map pick, you can't have your Sergeant Hammer countered.
Here we are. It's my pick. It's my map. Let's go.
It's gonna be Alterok Pass, picked up by AFK for Cocoa. So this time they're not opting for the first pick, rather choosing the map.
And now let's see. They have a 66% win rate on maps they've picked. So, while Tysk has a 100% win rate on maps they picked. So probably better to pick the map for AFK for Cocoa. What? That's stats for you right here.
You can't argue with mathematics. It's not possible.
Well, you can try to argue, but he'll probably slap you around and prove you wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, Alterok Pass is the last final map. The Easy Camp is of course
there's just a single camp, so it's not like the other macro maps that we've played all the time, where you have to hurdle those camps and do them at the right time and stuff. It's just you have one camp and you do it when it's up, and you don't do it when it's not up, and you don't wait for the objective with the camp. No, you just pick the camp when it's up, because you need the XP. You don't need the pressure.
Yeah, I mean, you could also argue the damage reduction do be okay.
Well, the armor reduction.
Yeah, I mean, the armor reduction do be okay.
If it works out that way, then sure, wait for it after the objective. But usually just do it on cooldown.
Yes.
And the bosses, you just ignore until they're needed, because the bosses are a pain in the, to capture, and they don't deal that much damage. They are easier to defend than to grab.
Indeed. I mean, there's also not just the camp, which is special on this map. There's also, of course, the core, which is different compared to every other map.
I like this core.
The core is 60 armor, and for every keep that goes down, he loses 20 armor. And he already died as HP, so if you don't kill it, it will go back to full life over some time. So having an unsuccessful core attempt.
The regeneration mechanics of the core. I do like the armor mechanics, which I do think they should try to put on more maps. Like, make the core take less damage if only one keep is down, make it take even or a bit more damage with 2 keeps is down, and make it take like 2 shot the core when 3 keeps are down.
Well, interestingly enough, I think this map was the catalyst for adding core mechanics to other maps, right? Because as far as I remember, this map came out, and then other maps like Infernal Shrines didn't have core mechanics or anything, and they looked at this and they thought, you know what, this kind of works, and then they added it to all the other maps.
Yeah.
So it was quite revolutionary.
And then it became a pain in the behind to take the sand maps because of the bloody whirlwinds around the core.
Yeah, Sky Temple needs to go away, but other than that, I think they're great.
I mean, Brexis is also great because
on Tomb there are also whirlwinds. They're also a pain.
Tomb has the death wave shooting out, I think, right? It's not.
yes,
Does it
it's
not have whirlwinds? Oh,
no, it has the death wave.
It's the boss with the whirlwinds.
Right.
Oh yeah, no.
I mean, there's also Brexis, of course, with the core mechanics. It's not in the Hero's Launch pool, but it's in Stormlake pool, so you do hear the fireworks when you approach the core, and then the fireworks kill you.
yeah.
Those core mechanics are a pain. If you're a squishy DPS, you can't stand around that core because you will just be 2-shot by those nukes or rockets or whatever they are.
And while we're on the subject, can we get a hand and a nice shout out to the Volskaya Foundry core mechanics? Oh, beautiful.
Well, if all 5 members of the enemy team get grabbed by a hand and pushed back, that can make some nice comebacks happen.
Oh, genuinely can. I've been part of this myself. I think it was like me versus 3 or something they tried to end. And they just kept getting hit by core rocket fists, and I'm like, okay, I will just go and kill you then.
Well, yeah, that works. Yeah, I like those dynamic mechanics, like the hands, which you can play around by moving around. I don't really like the stupid things on the ground, which just give minus armor and do nothing else, really.
Yeah, the Cursed Hollow one's not great, really, is it?
Cursed Hollow and the Tomb of the Spider Queen.
The Cursed Hollow comes especially down to draft, I think. Like, if you go like Alarak or something, you can push people into it, and having minus 75 armor do be pretty significant.
Oh,
Yeah,
without question, yeah.
But it doesn't really help you win a 1v4 like the hands on Volskaya can do.
I mean, yes, but you still like having minus 75 armor to be crucial. Therefore, I think it's okay to have it. It's not the best, but it's okay to have to be there.
I mean, it's better than nothing. Looking at you, the cursed orange, whatever.
Okay, so hear me out then. Let's say you have a core defense and there's 2 of you remaining, and the 2 of you remaining are Alarak and Kael'thas, and you telekinesis somebody into the 75 armor reduction and pyroblast them. That's gonna one-shot like 1 billion HP, right? New meta?
Yeah, sure. Let's just copy paste the Cursed Hollow core that you can like activate Cursed Hollow, and then on Dragonshire you have the stunny stones, which also give minus 75% armor, and then you have a pyroblast, which kills everyone. Initiate order Cursed Hollow.
I mean, yeah, give it to me. I want it.
New what was it? What did they call their stupid seasonal things again? Weather mechanics and the gladiators medallion.
Oh, the weather mechanics were
the anomalies.
so
New anomaly.
Anomalies,
Cursed Hollow core. Once in the game, you can press a button, and your core also has Cursed Hollow mechanics.
That would be genuinely so much better than a gladiator's medallion or random snow on the map. Oh god, it was awful.
What? The weather mechanics were like, why?
I think the worst part about the mechanics was also the effect it had on the systems. Like, for some people, game was literally unplayable because they had no FPS. They had like 30 FPS when it was raining or when it was snowing suddenly.
The stupid fog thingy.
It was
the fog, yeah, I forgot about the fog.
What did I do again? If you're standing still, it acted like you were in a
It was
bush or
stealth.
something?
It gave you stealth.
Yeah.
Like, why?
Stealth anywhere, yeah.
I mean, it's pretty normal to have Garrosh with stealth just standing somewhere in lane, even there is no Brightwing on opponent's team with invisible friends being completely broken.
Just rotating around and suddenly you're being thrown to the other side of a gate. Like, wait, what? Oh, they were just standing still over there. Oh, yeah.
I mean, you've got to hand it to them. Like, they come up with some innovative systems, right?
Yeah.
If you don't change things, the game stagnates, it becomes boring, and you lose a lot of players. I'm not saying that happened to HOT, but, you know...
But it happened to HOTS, okay, yeah, continue.
Yeah, kind of, a little bit, yeah. But, you know, they come up with good ideas. Some of them work, some of them don't. I do like the fact that the dev team try things out, but, yeah, giving stealth to everyone was probably the single stupidest thing I've ever seen in my 33 years of being alive on this planet.
Well, yeah, it wasn't the best, no.
I mean, HOTS itself is MOBA which is here, or which main goal is to try out things. Like, there's no hero like Cho'Gall, there's no hero like Everfur in any other MOBA, or like Vikings, so having HOTS try out those things I think is sort of fitting.
Yeah, I mean, yes, if they still would, because they're not.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Even things like the XP globe changes, like everything they do, I'm totally fine with them, like testing out. And to be honest, there was a point in time where I did think Gladiator's Medallion was cool and like a good idea. Obviously, I changed my mind on that when I started playing Kira, but I think it's nice that they actually try things out, and that does sort of set them apart. And it's sad that HOTS doesn't get the same recognition that things like Dota and League do, because there are some genuinely really good aspects to this game.
Yeah, I agree. There's no game like HOTS. Well, you can pretty much equate, not equate, but League and Dota are sort of kind of the same.
I've never played them. Am I right in thinking that League has one map?
Yes.
Wow.
Dota has as well, I think.
Yep.
Or at least one map where they play competitively on. And it's
you have
one.
You have ARAM maps.
Yeah, and custom game mode also for Dota, I think, because it's also Steam and Community Workshop.
I don't think I could do that. Imagine playing Cursed Hollow every single game. I don't think I could.
We just told you that people love Cursed Hollow. 7 games in a row. Just let us play No.
But I want my Brexis Snowball.
Oh my Garden of Terror with foggy weather conditions.
Oh god, no.
Finally, it's time to jump into the 5th and final map. Ultra Pass.
Final map.
So I'm guessing then we are going to have Tysk banning Johanna and Anubarak, given...
What? No. Their first pick.
Oh, you're right. It's been a long day.
You know, for sure. No, I think they'll banning Falstad, and then they'll ban 2 heroes out of the team of the previous game. No, I'm kidding. But I do think they'll ban Falstad, because that has worked out for them most of the time. Because he was a player in that Towers of Doom game, so maybe they won't ban Falstad.
The Gusts were very good to stop the Buried Alive most of the time, so fair play to that. But they opt for the Dehaka instead.
Yep, and now AFK for Coco is obliged to take at least Joanna and probably a Nubarak.
Where do you see Sylvanas fitting into this then? Like, is she going to be first pick material for Tysk?
Second pick for AFK. AFK for Coco.
I would love to see AFK mix up things. They picked Sylvanas now 2 times. And they lost 2 times with Sylvanas. I think they should just start mixing things up and put Poppin onto Hanzo.
Did they lose 2 times with Sylvanas? They also won with Sylvanas once, right?
They lost Cursed Hollow in the last map. Cursed Hollow and Towers, so...
They also had her on Volskaya, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean,
They
yes,
won there.
but it is not the sole, like... The statistics tell a 33% win rate on Sylvanas for them. That's how statistics work.
He's not wrong.
just like they have a 66% chance to win this because 66% of the mans they picked, they won.
Indeed, and that's the false start ban. So getting rid of the globals on the side of Tysk, while AFK for Coco has to ban the tanks.
Well,
That's an
they
interesting
don't
strategy.
have to.
But they did.
Well,
They do.
They kind of have to.
Contractually obliged to.
Yes, fair enough, fair enough. Anyway, let's see what the first pick is on the side of Tysk. Maybe they can get the Anduin first.
Ooh.
Junkrat.
Junkrat
mind
is
that.
good on this map, actually. You can be very annoying on the objective here.
Yeah, and as well, you kind of need two offlaners, and Junkrat can substitute for an offlaner in this map because you really don't want a 4-man rotating between middle and whatever lane you choose to rotate to.
And Junkrat also helps out with the camp clear. He has, with the AoE attacks, he can just clear the camp pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Clear. No.
We do see a little bit of a mix-up for AFK for Coco as they go for Anduin and Tysk, so not opting into Sylvanas this time. And Tysk, they pick up Blazing Custis, also no Sylvanas there.
Yeah, and the Tyke is, like earlier, a little bit short-ranged, but who knows, if the red team can pick a tank which can close that gap, then he should be just fine. Can shred through that armor on the Blaze, shred through the armor on the Cassia.
Well, did anybody else see that ban coming? Because I didn't.
It's a very interesting ban because Stukov is open, so
Yeah,
is
exactly.
Rhaegar and Brightwing.
Rhaegar and Brightwing, yeah. Okay.
Sure, let's ban White Mane. Let's go.
Think about why though. What if you're AFK for Coco and you ban White Mane? What are you afraid of? Is it the cleanse? No, because Rhaegar's got a cleanse. Is it the healing output? No, because Brightwing has a better healing output. Like what? What are you afraid of? I don't get it.
You're afraid that you're gonna get laughed at for the rest of the game.
I mean,
Uh-huh.
to be fair, Whitemane actually has better healing output than Brightwing, I think. At least in terms of saving a target. Brightwing has a 2-second channel for the teleport, and if you manage to kill a target in those 2 seconds, the target is dead. Whitemane in return throws the Q at her and just throws all her buttons at your face, so you are unable
Killing
to
a target,
kill a
it is
target in
dead.
2 seconds.
Putting out all the wisdom right there. But we see an offlaner, Sonya, and ETC. ETC has been played to great effect by AFK for Coco thus far. Except the last game they lost with ETC, so it's a shame.
The fifth and final pick for AFK for Coco is the flex pick. Are we getting the Sergeant Hammer?
It's Tyrael and Rhaegar for Tysk Effektivitet, and Sergeant Hammer. I wouldn't even mind her. But it is the Jaina going for that short range comp in which they also used on Garden of Terror, a map they won. But I think that was very, very close, so I don't know. Maybe. And the offlaner on the side of Tysk is different. They have that bunker now to prevent some of that damage. They have sanctification. I don't know. I don't know about the draft on the right side. We shall see what this brings.
Yeah, on this side of Tysk, we again do see the sanctification against this bunch of melees. So we kind of have the same thing as we had on Cursed Hollow. If everyone of AFK for Coco commits and the sanctification, there's not much room where they can escape to because they're just all so close.
Well, they do have a little bit more CC on the side of the red team than they had in that Cursed Hollow game.
And we shall see how it goes as you take it away for the last and final map, Castron Schizo.
Yeah, final map. They're not down anymore. They're even. They're still blue though. They're still Tysk. And they're still classic on Tyrael. Woodsy playing Blaze. Buza on Junkrat. Kyusa on Rhaegar. And Brutus on Cassia.
And in the red corner, for the 5th and final time today, we have AFK for Coco. They are ETC, being played by Yimek, Tykus being played by Poppin' Fresh, Jaina being played by Linux, Anduin being played by Beanfish, and Sonya being played by Proximo, who is back in for this game. Let's have this essential best of one to decide who wins in the Division 4 Grand Final.
Tykus not showing talent yet. So that's interesting. Other than that, mostly the talents that I'd expect from these teams so far. Sonya is already soaking in the top lane. Blaze is going over there to join her. Won't be missing any XP so far. So it's good. That's good.
It's always good as a Sonya to get into your lane early so you can build up that Fury so you can have a nice battle. If you waste your Fury and your time and even your health resources sort of in mid in a pointless fight, then you're weaker in the solo lane than, let's say, a Dahaka or a Blaze or something like that. Your Fury is very important as a Sonya.
Yep. 2 persons on the side of the blue team going for that camp. And also 2 on the side of the red team doing that camp as soon as they can, while the rest of the heroes keep on soaking their lanes as they shoot.
Yeah, indeed, and look how early the blue camp is taken up with Junkrat and Rhaegar on that. You can absolutely smash it, while Tykus and Anduin are still going at it. Now, that has advantages, of course, because you can defend the enemy at your own gate, so you're less at risk of being ganked, but you might take some structural damage, and in this map, mid lane is very, very important for that.
Yeah, you want to open up those mid forts so you get more of access points to those objective camps. So you get, like, the enemy can't hide behind the gates, and it just gives you more opportunities to make plays.
Exactly, and you are much safer for the objective. And as you can see, the objective is bot. So imagine having a Junkrat on the blue side. If it was top, you'd obviously do a lot better, which you will soon enough. But Junkrat can just play from above the wall, and he can grenade you. He can put his mines and his traps down. Junkrat can literally stall for days all on his own. Nice power slide going in, max range, no dice though, no follow-up available.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the blue team was rotating for to the bot lane, because Cassia was there soaking already and no one of the red team was there. But for now, it looks fine. Oop, gank attempt onto Blaze, but Blaze smells something fishy.
He knows. He knows.
Well,
and
I don't think he does know, because the 2 red heroes were in a bush he just passed, so if they were still there, they might have made an attempt.
As I said it, I realized he didn't know. I was like, okay then.
Doesn't matter. Anyway, the objective spawns, and usually you want to wait for at least level 7 before you attempt it, and the higher you go in the divisions, the later you go for this objective. So let's see what these teams decide. Well, they decide to immediately go for it, even though they don't have level 6 yet, not 7 yet.
Yeah, if you're running a tank like Anubarak who can solo it, Blaze looking for a nice flank on Proximo there. Proximo getting very low, the oil slows her down from getting out, but she is going to be absolutely fine. And yeah, nothing really coming of that, just a little bit of, how shall we say, harmless flirting with each other in the mid lane of that camp.
Yeah, well, if that stun hit, that would have been one dead Sonya, but it wasn't meant to be.
No, good stuff. Still waiting on that first blood then, 4 minutes in. And as you can see now, no one going for that camp because mid lane, ooh, nice jet propulsion there, but mid lane is in a lot of trouble here. AFK for Coco really pushing in with that camp. The minus 20 armor doing work on the front gate, and it is entirely gone. Big jet propulsion onto ETC. ETC decides to go in, gets a huge power slide onto Tyrael, knocks back with the face melt, and Tyrael is going to hit 2 people and come back in 12 seconds. First blood going over to AFK for Coco.
Yeah, and AFK for Coco using that time that they've bought with that to get a little bit of time on this camp. Let's see if they can complete this channel, or if Tysk will be taking that camp back.
It's important as well because of that front gate being down on mid. If AFK for Coco do get this, mid is going to be in trouble, and the objective on top is going to be in danger for the second objective. But Classics went down to 3 HP, does get taken out by the Tykus. Unfortunately, the overkill gets the kill onto Tyrael, who goes down again for the second time. Tyrael is getting a little bit bullied here. Although, the good news is they did manage to stop the objective during all of that, so Tyrael will be back, but it looks like the assault for the objective is back on from AFK for Coco.
Yeah, and if AFK for Coco can capture this objective the second time, there's not too much that Tysk will be able to do for this first objective phase. And it looks like the cavalry will be over to the side of the Horde, for the Horde.
It will indeed, but again, silver lining actually coming in for Tysk is that they managed to start their null camp on time, so that will come through and it may help defend this mid fort. I'd like to see a lot more pressure on the mid fort from AFK for Coco, but the assist pings are coming out and bot is the first target.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that one myself. They might be able to get... Oh, excuse me. They might be able to get that, but the Tysk is able to set up a defense in this bot lane and will probably be able to repel these 4 heroes.
Yeah, it's looking good. I think Sonya is going to get maybe the wall mid. Oh, that's bad. No, Classics, not again, not again. Manages to get the shield and is going to be okay. Level 10 actually coming in. Didn't see that one coming. Ancestral is there.
Yeah, so far Ancestral was used, but so is Odin. So the red team is really wanting to push this bottom lane fort down. Let's see what they can do. EC was in a little bit of trouble, but is pulled out by the Anduin. Let's see if he can. He tried to go for a mosh pit, but it was interrupted after it got pushed, so it was set to its full cooldown. And the fight is still going on, and Sanctification used to prevent the light bomb stun. Let's see if they can get enough damage onto this ETC. No, ETC walks out with a sliver of HP. And the blue team not able to get anyone down. While that was happening, the objective has also been cleared without any fort falling. So that's a nice defense for the blue team.
Oh, absolutely massive. And quite frankly, even better than that is the fact that even in mid lane, they managed to get a gate down throughout all of that. So not only did you defend your mid fort from taking any kind of damage at all, you even pushed the mid lane. So really good defense there. ETC going in for a power slide. Classics not interested in that. Gets booped back in by the Junkrat man. Now this is where I have a problem with Tyrael. You have the Junkrat, and we saw this earlier on during the assault. Yumek gets booped in, but there's no stun, so you can't lock him down after that boop and you can't kill him. So that's where I think Tyrael fails. That's not the engage you want, but you never know. It could work out for you if you have the raw damage output.
Yeah, but they have... Oh, well, that Riptire got destroyed real quick there. I'm not sure how that happened. Ooh, this might be a 5v4 fight. Yeah. And indeed, the leap was absolutely massive. The Cassia can be kept alive with Ancestral Healing, but the roots and the slows are there to keep her down. And, well, that was an absolute disastrous team fight for Tysk. And it looks like the red team is setting their sights on this bottom lane boss, while the objective is about to be spawned.
Yeah, I think you need a bit of communication from your offlaner there. You have to say Sonya's missing, and then she just turns up and crushes 2 of you with a nice Ring of Frost. I think Blaze needs to say that Sonya is not around. Please be careful. But I guess Blaze did get half of a top fort in return, so it's again, silver lining, but a bit better communication next time, perhaps.
Well, if they can get this Sonya... Oh, that Blaze missing that stun is... Once again, it's absolutely disastrous. They could have gotten that Sonya kill, but instead the entire red team shows up and they have to abandon this fight probably. Ooh, nice leap onto the Junkrat, and Junkrat is alone. And, well, alone without friends, he dies.
Unfortunately so. It was a really nice leap, and I enjoyed the follow-up that came after it. There was a good route from Anduin to make sure that Junkrat stayed exactly where he was. But this brings up an even bigger problem for me. Have you just noticed how ETC used Mosh Pit on one person and was not interrupted? Where's the Mosh Pit interrupt? You don't really have it. Maybe Riptire, but Junkrat's dead.
Yeah, Junkrat can interrupt it with 2 visibilities, and Blaze can use his unstoppable and jet propulsion? Question mark?
I don't disagree that it's doable, but you're scraping the bottom of the barrel for Mosh interrupts there, I think.
Yes. Yeah, well, yeah. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, and that means pressing your unstoppable and jet propulsion and hope for the best.
I love that method. Just press D, close your eyes, and see what happens.
Oh, leap used onto Junkrat, but ancestral healing's there to try and keep him alive. Cassia might be in a little bit of trouble. Oh, nice boop by the ETC, getting Cassia back into the Ring of Frost. But now Sonya's taking a lot of damage, but there is just no follow-up stun. They don't have the lockdown on the side of Tysk to keep members in place and set them up for the kill. If they get them low, they just walk away.
Yeah, this is the thing. And again, I think it comes down to the Tyrael tank. You rely on your tank for that engage and that CC, but it's just not there. Blaze misses a jet propulsion. That's where I guess the CC comes from, but without Tyrael to provide extra CC on top of it, you might be in a bad spot. Moshpit comes out, zoning Mosh. Classics just manages to get out of it. Cassia goes in with the fend on pop in. Classics are getting so low, goes even further in, pops the sanctification. Sonya is spinning to win, but is not getting much value because everyone is protected. She gets rooted. Yimek is in quite deep now. The jet propulsion this time does hit. The leap is on 4 people. There's a blizzard underneath. Everyone's taking so much damage. Brutus is in there with Cassia getting a lot of damage. The ball lightning is going everywhere. Brutus is getting solo. The power slide will seal her fate, but Poppin' Fresh is also very low. Everyone is very low, quite frankly, except Linux and Beanfish. But Beanfish has no mana to keep people alive anymore. And during all of that, the objective was taken.
Yeah, and like we saw, the red teams just they're able to walk away, and the only reason Sonya died is because she leapt back in onto, what was it, 4 members, 3
She
members?
hit 4 man. Yeah, it's a big leap, but unfortunately, when they're unstunned, there's 4 people on top of you. So watch out for that.
Yeah, with the sanctification on top, so they were not able to get a quick pick off. So Sonya had to give her life, but they did get their Cassia in the end as well, who was chasing a low health Tychus and another one. Anyway, they're assaulting this bot keep with the Odin, and let's see if they can make this happen. It looks like the blue team is able to defend this bot lane keep, but the top lane keep is taking a lot of damage during all of this. They're still fighting though. Nice boop onto the ETC, but ETC is just being pulled back by the Anduin, and the red team walks away.
Yeah, indeed. The boops have been good, and I've seen that must have been the 4th or 5th boop I've seen onto ETC. But you need like a shadow charge, you need a blaze jet propulsion or something. I get that Zwitzi was a bit preoccupied at that particular moment, but you need some follow-ups on these boops to make them work. Although even if they're there, Anduin is just pulling them out, especially with that Glyph of Faith on level 16. So I think it's a rough composition to try and execute for Tysk, but if they get it to work, it will be magical.
Yeah, and like we said earlier, the game's not over until the core is dead, and even losing a single keep on this map, you can just ignore it because the catapults will get crushed by this core.
Yeah, for sure. They don't do a lot of damage. Oh no, Blaze in the mid lane. The Unstoppable does come out. That's a really nice jet propulsion away. Although the Ring of Frost coming out, the Mosh Pit does hit Rhaegar. Can you interrupt that? The leap comes in, and then Zwitzi needs the Ancestral, manages to survive in the backline. Brutus seems to be so far out from everyone else. Sonya just gets a nice jet propulsion, spinning to win, gets pulled out by Beanfish, really goes off. This fight is all over the place. Classics getting battered around. Brutus manages to walk out. How in the world does nobody die from that cluster of an engage?
Yeah, I don't know. They just stay alive, so they don't die. Oh, red team is still looking for another fight, even though blue team is looking fairly healthy. If they can jump onto the jump, no, never mind. He has a proximity mine, so he's able to jump out. And now the front line is getting damaged, and the blue team is looking fairly rough, while the red team is still mostly alive. What the blue team's hunting. Let's see if they can get any.
Yeah, they're advancing into dangerous waters here. They don't have a force available to fall back to, but this is where the objective is. That's slow from Tychus on level 16, by the way, or is it level 13? I forget. Oh, Sonya goes in with the leap. Oh, nice Tyrael. Nice Tyrael. Nice Eldruin's might, I should say, to get Tyrael away, though.
Yeah, so blue team does get some time to reset the resources, or not, or get that camp, I guess. And let's see, they do have to march on this objective though, because if the red team gets this third objective of the game, that will probably be GG.
It would be very close indeed if they do. It's not level 20, but by the time the objective is captured and gets there, it very well could be. Classics decides to go in, wants to make something happen. ECC gets out of there, and everything is going to be okay. It's just a bit boiling point reaching at the moment. Classics taking so much damage, but eventually will get healed up by Rhaegar, who still has the Ancestral if needs be.
Yeah, and this is the hard camp to fight into on the red side. So if you can set a point there, then it's easier to defend, I guess. And it looks like the red team just gives up their position. So the blue team can set up. Let's see if they can work with this, or if they have to give it up in the end. Sonya trying to flank. Ooh, Tyrael in trouble. Ancestral healing used. But did heal for a lot less than I thought. A nice leap onto 2 members. Sanctification is used, as is the bunker. That might have been a little bit of a miscommunication to overlap those ultimates. And it looks like Rhaegar will be in trouble, and Rhaegar is the first to fall. So it looks like, oh, red team going for boss here instead of securing this objective. What do you think of that call?
I think the thing is, with Alterac Pass, the boss genuinely doesn't get much value if the walls are up. But if you look at the bot lane keep, the walls have already been broken by the earlier objective phase. So this boss will rail on the keep. It probably won't get the keep even if left unattended, but it does mean that you get the cavalry racing in with minus 40 armor on the boss much earlier.
Red team's hunting. They know that this objective is going on. The blue team doesn't have the damage. They need to back off. They are not in time, and this will probably be GG. Because
I'm not sure. I don't know if it can be held. The cavalry coming in, the boss is railing bot lane, the camp is railing mid lane. I think you're looking at a 0 armor core here. It could very well be GG, especially if they're taking top boss, which they've decided they do want to do.
Oh, solo mosh pit onto Junkrat without anyone there, so I'm not sure why. Because
yeah,
follow up.
Just assert dominance? Question mark.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Let's see. Okay, bottom boss has slapped down this keep, is slapping down the core. Can probably be killed, but. There's a siege camp marching in. No, that's blue siege camp. Okay, so this boss is dead, but there's another boss incoming. There's cavalry incoming. There's no way that this core can be held. Right? They said before Sonya takes a lot of damage, a Matrix, lots of damage. Sonya hasn't lived yet, has she? Well, what's happened? Oh my! Well,
explosions!
The core's dead, and other than that,
I feel, as a caster, I feel like I did that ending such a disservice because it was so confusing. I don't know what happened, and then the core was dead.
It was like people were pressing abilities and they were focusing on Sonya, but Sonya didn't die until the final second, and the core was dead. This was like, oh, okay, I guess that just happened.
Game 5 goes over to AFK for Coco to give it some pizzazz at the end of this best of 5. Congratulations to them.
Indeed, what a nice play by FK for Coco to get the victory in the team fight, and then being like, you know what, guys, we're just gonna play it safe. We just take bottom boss, then we go for top boss, and meanwhile Sonya can take the objective. So they split up their forces, and they knew the main thing the opponents could do would have been the top boss, but they were quick enough with the bottom boss to go top and go there. And meanwhile Sonya started taking the objective. So even if the boss would not have ended, they would have still had a cavalry right behind it coming in on top and bottom straight towards the core, while mid lane the keep was already pretty low and would have also most likely died to it.
Yeah,
yes, for sure. There's nothing you can really do about that. It's like, you know, when you're playing Braxis and you get a boss and Zerg in the same lane, it really does not matter what's in that lane, you're going to lose the game. And it felt similar here in that you have cavalry coming in after a boss coming in. it doesn't look winnable, but fair play to Sonya for staying alive for as long as she did there to let the rest of the team hit the core.
Indeed. In the meantime, we are looking if we can get an interview, and it seems to be good. And we
Now
soon...
the first question, Castrol. First question's yours.
Oh, thank you so much. You know exactly what this is going to be.
Yup.
Indeed. Yeah, with that, gonna start moving them towards us.
Oh no, we're gonna be moved. So, I guess we need to leave this.
No, I'm moving you guys towards us. Welcome
okay.
to AFK for Kokora. And congratulations to winning Division 4. But before we go into any regular win and interview stuff like talking who was the worst of the opponents, who was your personal MVP, we have one word from the very top of Heroes Lounge this time. Sadly, Cosmic won't be able to join us, but we have another board member who we saw yesterday also on stream already. Welcome back and happy birthday to you, Transparent.
Thank you very much, Samu. Yes, congratulations, of course, to AFK for Coca. A great round of applause. It's been long overdue. AFK for Coca yo-yoing between all leagues and all divisions. Well, I say all divisions. I mean, between, Div 3, Div 5, Div 4. You've found yourself a medal here in the end. Big well done. Obviously, well deserved. You'll be getting your medals. I'm sure you've seen them before, the pictures. I'm sure Poppin's definitely seen a picture at some point of them. But yeah, you'll be getting those in the post at some point. I think Cosmic will be arranging that for you. And yeah, a big thank you, of course, to everyone who played, as well as, I'm going to call them German efficiency, because that is essentially what they are, just in Danish, I believe. So big well done to them. Sorry, I've just been eating some cake while while watching the stream. Bit of birthday cake. So yeah, big well done to everybody as well. Big thank you to Kestrel, Scissor, and Samu, who have been here in these finals, and of course earlier as well, everyone who helped out with that. Luca hosting as well. And yeah, the Tofu and Noz for casting. It's been a fantastic weekend, and what a series to end on. I'm glad you guys forced it to be the 5 games. You let them have 2 just so that we could have a 5-game series. Obviously that was it.
Of course.
But yeah, big well done to everybody. But yeah, that's me, of course, done pretty much. I think that's everything said. But yeah, once again, big congratulations to both of you, to everybody, and obviously hope to see you all back next season.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go.
Oh god!
We won the finals. Let's go.
All
We
right.
have some cake to celebrate.
I've got plenty of birthday cake at the moment because I'm literally home alone, and it's a cake for a lot of people. So if you can find me in Norfolk, you're welcome to have some.
You did leak
the interview
your
will be
address
around.
earlier, so
Poppin did leak the address, and I saw he made a clip of it, which has probably been deleted. So, there we go. Yeah. Anyway, big congratulations, Sammy. You've got all the questions, and I think Kestrel's got one to start us off.
Hey guys, well done. Congratulations on your victory today. It was an amazing series to cast, and I want to thank everyone involved because I had an absolute blast. But I have 2 questions for you actually. The first one is, I heard whispers and rumours throughout the entire day and even yesterday that there would be a Sergeant Hammer pick. Why was there no Sergeant Hammer pick from either side, do you think?
From our side, if I knew about the rumour, then I would have played it. But nobody told me, so if Twitch chat wanted it, someone should have sent me a message.
we have also had in the past where the meta has changed for the finals, and we've tried to play the new meta, and it's cost us. So I don't think we should have done it again.
So effectively, I need to shout a bit louder next time, and it needs to be not the week after a patch. Understood? And my second, and let's say more relevant question, is there was such a high priority throughout the entire series on Sylvanas, and yet in Game 5, when we got there, she just disappeared. There was no Sylvanas. So I guess the question is in two parts. When we get to game 5, how does it make you feel going in, knowing that you had a 2-0 lead and suddenly you're in this game 5? And second of all, what happened to the priority on Sylvanas? Was it just not working, or was it just a completely different plan for Alterac Pass specifically?
When we got to game 5, like obviously we were a bit shook, the sweep on the cards, and we just said we're going to pick some heroes and we're going to kill the tank, or we're going to kill people. And Syl's okay at that, but Tychus just goes, and right.
He does do that. You are correct. I
He
definitely
does,
can't argue with that.
But yeah, no, we know we can kill anyone with Tychus Chainer. It's a lot of damage, and that was just the plan going in. And that kind of, we weren't too bothered about the Sylv. We prioritized Tychus for doing that, and we didn't mind if they went Sylv. We know they really like it on Towers of Doom, so that's why we took it away from them there. But yeah, it just wasn't a big priority for us on Alterac.
Well, that's a good insight. Thank you very much. With that, I will say congratulations again, and if Scissor has any questions, I will hand it over to Scissor. Thank you.
I also do have one before we keep on going. Looking at map number 1, that looked pretty dominant. I think you guys had 0 deaths. Looking game number 2, it was a bit closer. Tysk showed some signs of life, but it was still generally heavily favored for you. Map number 2. How did you go into the game 3, into the draft of game 3?
That was cursed, wasn't it? Right?
Yes, Cursed Hollow.
Okay. I don't know, guys. What were we thinking in game 3? That was so long ago.
I think when we saw the draft, we were a bit scared. I mean, I was last pick. I personally didn't really feel comfortable, and we weren't sure really what to do against this.
Yeah, we kind of knew that
the Kira was an attempt to counter engage somehow, but the fights just didn't go our way.
Yeah, their execution was really on point.
Yeah,
and it was
just
really difficult.
Deadly.
Yeah, but yeah, we knew that Maev might be coming, and then I don't know, I kind of forgot about it at that point. Yeah, that was a tough one. They played really well.
We know generally, we don't have a great track record against Maevs.
Yeah.
No, don't tell people that.
That put us a little bit on the back foot, didn't it? But
yeah,
it was one of those games where you feel like you're losing or not coming off well from most of the team fights, so it was just trying to hang in there. One of those situations for the entire game, which doesn't feel great.
Alright, thank you. Just throwing a little bit of my own expertise in. I think the Kira was a good pick if you would have hit 20, but you sadly just got wiped right before 20. Like with 20, with the silence, she might have just turned it around. The Kira would have never gotten a sanct off.
Yeah.
Any questions from you, Skizar?
No. Thanks for the amazing games. It was very enjoyable to cast it.
And it was fun to play as well.
Yeah.
Props to Tysk for having really nice matches.
Yeah, definitely.
Alright, then as we are finishing off the interview, apparently, there's no more questions are here. Any more shoutouts from you guys?
I can go through some shoutouts. Right. Shout out to the team. Obviously, we won. All these guys here.
Not these idiots.
These idiots. Yemek, Linux, Bean, Proxy, John, who bobbed in for the Towers of Doom games, Asleaf, who's not played with us today, but he's still been playing this season. But yeah, we managed to get that's our 7th playoffs, and we finally won one, so quite happy with that. Shout out to my wife Abby, who's our cheerleader / captain sometimes. Shout out to Yemek's mum.
Number one fan.
Yeah, but I think that's it.
You're missing the all-important Monster Energy.
The sponsor.
Non-official sponsor of Monster Energy.
Yeah.
Powered us through these playoffs. Yeah, no, thank you very much for the cast and all the hard work that went into the playoffs. Anyone else? Are we good?
Yeah, I think you got it covered. Thank you again for the cast. I look forward to rewatching it.
Alright, and thank you guys for the interview. Poppin, probably one of the people which know how much work is actually behind, as he's himself a manager, especially content manager, who also does have some stuff to do from time to time. Especially the blog posts are great. Thank you for those. And yeah, with that, thank you for the interview, and we will finish off the stream then.
Thank you very much.
Guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good evening, everyone.
Alright, with the winners interview done, thank you Kestrel and Skeezer for joining me today. I hope you guys also enjoyed it. So any last words from you?
I had a great time. I enjoyed casting every one of those games. Again, thank you to both of the teams for putting on such a spectacle. It was a pleasure for me. It was a pleasure, I'm sure, for the thousands of people who are watching on the Heroes Lounge channel. And I hope to see you all next time. And thank you for you too, Samu. Amazing production, amazing hosting, and Scissor, always a pleasure to cast with you.
Yeah, indeed. Same thank yous, I guess. I'm hungry. I'm going to get food. Thank you, everyone.
Alright, another shout out to the cat who keeps the keyboard warm from Princess B. So thank you all for joining. I hope you enjoyed it. Next week there will be a break because of Easter, but then the week afterwards we will head into the Saturday with Division 3 and Division 1. Starting with Division 1 and then into Division 3, and then on Sunday where we will Division 1 Plus and Division 2 to sort it off, to make sure there's enough time for people playing in Division 1 and 1 Plus that they can play also in the Masters Clash, as it will keep on going. So thank you all for joining. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you back in 2 weeks. Bye.